And I'm sure that Facebook has now been rectified. And once again, regardless of where you're joining us from, this is Radio Biafra. This is a very special address from myself, Nnamdi Kanu, the leader of IPOB all over the world. As I was saying, I must welcome each and one of you back again. I was talking about what it means to be IPOB and why we must stay this very course. Because a lot of things happened whilst I was away. Some people fell by the wayside. Some people felt that perhaps the zoo has something to offer them. And some people collaborated with the enemy, not just to kill us, but to attempt to set the clock of restoration backwards. But thanks to the grace and mercy of the Most High, Chukwukabiyama, they did not. And especially those of you that have been working exceptionally hard to make sure that we stayed on this very course towards our restoration. A lot has happened. When I think about it, sometimes it brings tears to my eyes. Surprisingly and shockingly, not a lot of people were up to this very job, which is rather extremely sad. A very unique privilege for you to be an IPOB family member. It's a rare honor. When we call each other Umu Chineke or Nwa Chineke, it is a very unique privilege, not an entitlement. Only the pure at heart can be called Nwa Chineke. Not everybody you meet on the street is entitled to be called that very name. IPOB is a very can do about it. We remain the bravest of the very brave. Cowards run away when they see us. From the day I arrived in the zoo exactly 4 years ago, minus 1 week, because I arrived in the zoo on the 14th of October in the year of our Lord, 2015. I told them that I was coming, and I came. Some people within some that we are just on Facebook that I'm in London, they dared me to come back, and I told them that I was coming home, and I did come home. When I arrived, I was arrested. I was taken to Abuja. I was confined to a very tiny space. I was chained like a common criminal. I was handcuffed. They tried to break me, but they know that that is impossible. They can attest to it. They mocked me that I will rot in jail. Some prayed very fervently, those who are against Biafra, agents of darkness, that I should die in jail. But the walls of prison and detention couldn't keep me. I told Jubril, now, or should I say Buhari before he died and was buried in Saudi Arabia, that he was a madman. I called him a madman in his own court because I know that he cannot do anything about it. Any human being can do to me or to the wider body of IPOB for that matter. I told the court of Bintan Yako that they cannot jail me, and they did not. I called the dead Buhari, an illiterate madman, in his own court, and I walked away. I cannot recall anybody being able to do so in the history of the damnable Zoological Republic. With very few and notable exceptions, men like Femi Fani-Kayode, the two men I respect very much, I must say, from the West. There is no other human being that has been able to rise up to challenge the murderous tendencies of the late Buhari. Buhari died because he dared to touch me. And I must warn everybody, especially those who are harboring ill will towards me, that what happened to Buhari will also happen to them. Buhari was replaced with a man, that very thing from Sudan, Jubril. A very special program is coming up next month where I will completely and totally unmask Jubril. Complete and total. With DNA evidence and forensic pictorial evidence, it will be clear to the whole world that the person in Asal Rock is fake. Jubril. They are trying to use INEC disqualification to bar him from contesting so he can run back to Sudan. That is not going to happen. I won't let them. He will contest. And the zoo will crumble with him. They know this. That's why they're running helter-skelter, claiming he doesn't have a certificate. As if they never knew. Since 4 years ago, that man that is now dead and buried in Saudi Arabia is a stark and compound illiterate. The very worst kind. An evil genocidist who is now decayed and only skeletal in the grave. That shall befall anybody that rises against IPOB. After I came out of prison, even those that I'm older than, even the age mates of my first son, Nemeka, maybe because of the way I look, they will say, what these young men are doing. Apart from maybe 4 or 5 people in Ohanese, I am older than every other Ohanese executive member. But when you hear them talk about me and IPOB, you think we're a bunch of teenagers. I don't blame them. They're a product of a dysfunctional, very quietly, because what I have to tell you is extremely important. So you must pay attention. They gave me the bail conditions so that I wouldn't speak, so that I cannot rally, to muzzle me, so that I'll just be in my father's house and then go to court once in a while. The same thing they did to the now estate developer in nowhere. I told them, no, you cannot cage me. You cannot muzzle me. It's not possible. I went out and I defied on my person, so that IPOB can be alive and our restoration of Biafra well on course. The powers that be didn't like it. Their Igbo collaborators did not like it. Some of them in government houses did not like it. Ohanese didn't like it because I said no to voting in Anambra. And I have my reasons and I'll go to that later. Obiano said I shouldn't come to Kulobe, that he will kill me. Dave Oma, he said I shouldn't come to Ebonyi. I went to Ebonyi with the longest convoy in history. As I was entering Abakaliki, part of our convoy was still in Enugu. We broke the cordon. 6 fortified military checkpoints. I got down from my vehicle and I walked through all of them. I dared them to shoot me. We went into Abakaliki and we shot Abakaliki down. When we got to the front of the government house, I asked my driver to stop so I can greet some of the people working for Dave Umahi, to let them know that Ebonyi is Biafra. After our rally, on my way out of Abakaliki, they stopped me again and asked me to turn around. And I told them that it would not happen. We broke that very cordon too, and we got home safely that very evening. I went to Obibo. Yes, Onwike did not ask Army to kill me. He never tried to intimidate me nor to molest me. We rallied peacefully as we normally do, and we went back home. Ohaneze Igbo and Igbo governors got together and said this cannot continue. That Nnamdi Kanu is heating up the polity. They decided to kill me. It was these men that physically had me killed. They couldn't do it. After all, Buhari was dead, buried in Saudi Arabia. They had to do something very quickly. At the expiration of the 103 days of his shambolic medical trip to London, they sent that thing from Sudan, Jubril, to come back to spearhead the attack against me. He's a man that some of you know as Abba Kyari. I understand we are still having some difficulties. Is that correct? No, they said the volume is a bit too high. I don't know if that is correct. They must let us know if it is better now. If it's better now. You know, it's been a while, so I'm having to do all the technical work myself. It's been about 4 years. So you must bear with me. Comings in our technical output this very evening. When Jubril came back, a lot of Igbo men that call themselves politicians and political leaders arranged for me to be assassinated. They pleaded and pleaded and pleaded. Because our 30th of May celebration, our sit at home last year was successful. That led those Alamajiri youths, I don't know where they got them from, to East. Arewa Consultative Forum pressured Nyawood and Ohaneze and Southeast governors to do something about me. When they talk about me, they don't tell you the truth. I was the one that went to Wodo's house when he was in the USA to look for him, to greet him. I went with Evangelist Eliotuko. I went back again when he returned, and we had very sumptuous lunch together. What I stand for, I want Biafra because of all the maltreatment, because of all the humiliation, because of all the shame that Nigeria, over the years, have compelled us to go through as a people, that I cannot take it anymore. I want to be free and I want to die a free man. He asked me, what do I intend to do? And I told him, most respectfully, that I will engage in civil dispute the zoo as to my demand for a referendum. That I won't fight anybody. He said it's okay, but I should consider an umbrella election. I told him no. We've been voting since 1953, if I'm not mistaken. What has come of it? Absolutely nothing. The zoo, as a contraption, instead of going forward, is always going backwards every blessed year. Things are getting more difficult. Our children are dying in the Mediterranean. They're drowning. Our daughters have nobody to marry them because most of our men, our brothers, our uncles, our cousins are in severe difficulties abroad. Some are in jail, some are struggling. Some will have to marry somebody from that very country where they are domiciled to be able to get their papers. Nobody is interested in our sisters back home. And I told something must give way. That I have no interest in being the leader of Biafra. I have no interest in politics. All I want is for our people to be free. I explained to him very calmly and with respect. We took pictures, we had lunch, and we went away. But they went behind my back to plan to kill me when I did nothing wrong to them. They came to my house, as we all know, to kill me and every living being in my house. Now I am in Israel. That is no longer possible. Even the young lady you call Aisha Buhari, I'm older than her, as a matter of fact. Aisha Buhari, the wife of the late Muhammad Buhari, I am older than her, said that Nnamdi Kanu intimidated the Nigerian army into submission in a speech she made on Monday, that was October the 9th, last year, 2017. Perhaps fueled by the fact that her husband was dead. She spoke out of turn. It's there for all to see. She actually said that Nnamdi Kanu ran riot because my husband was not in Nigeria. That's what she said. This is supposedly the first lady. That was when they concluded their plans to kill me. Okay, we shall find out. Okay, Zia Ibazo, Dave Umahi, Niawodo had their statements prepared for my obituary. They had gone to plan with the traditional rulers of all the other geopolitical zones in the zoo to come down to address, go through Okezie Ibazo's statements. It's all there and self-evidently so. The Ohaneze Ndigbo political class, Southeast governors, used Fulani military apparatus to try and assassinate me the same way they've been doing, as they did in Aba, Tumpo, Nishelugu, Igwacha, in Aba. All we are asking for, claim their positions, brought death to us. When you ask them, but what wrong have we done? They say we are heating up the politics. That's all. We've explained to them time and time again, we want to be free. Perhaps some of you are comfortable being slaves to Fulani people. IPOB is not comfortable and can never, ever be comfortable with it. We made it very clear and shall continue to make it very clear that we are not retreating. We cannot surrender. It is either Biafra or we die getting Biafra. Mind you, it was these semi-Igbo politicians that crafted my bail conditions. Some of you do not know. They wanted to cage IPOB the same way they caged MASOP and rendered it useless through financial inducements and military intimidation. Even those that claim they're part of the intelligentsia, when they go to Abuja, they lose their voice. They cannot speak on behalf of our people. They are humiliated day after day for daring to demand what is right for their people. The only time that they have anything tangible to say to us is every 4 years during the time to vote. Biafra land belongs to Biafrans. All we're interested in is freedom our liberty as a people, equity and fairness, that we will never, ever, ever negotiate away. If indeed, as we know, that IPOB is fighting for all the things that I've elucidated above, why is it that Ohanes and Igbo and some Igbo governors would like to have me killed? Why don't for Biafrans to ask them? Only they can explain. Okay, Zibazo received stolen items from my house by the Zoo military. In due course, all these things will be revealed. My voice is very low, is that correct? Is that what they're saying? Okay. It's important that you know that we are slightly unorthodox here. We don't do things the way other people do it. We are very, very different, with remarkable results at the end of it. I can assure you of that. I talked about the death of Muhammadu Buhari and the unmasking of Jubril, which obviously didn't go down well with some Fulani people in the government. Biafra land felt that the best thing to do is to get rid of me. When I left prison, in case we've forgotten, IPOB successfully checkmated Fulani headsmen. All the activities in Biafra land were paralyzed. I ensured, and I made sure of it. Southeast governors never said anything when Fulani headsmen came and invaded Enugu State. South governors before I left prison. When I came out, I ensured that headsmen activities in Biafra land were reduced to the barest minimum. We met them, we comforted them, and we drove them back. At no time during the Fulani terror headsmen menace did any governor, including Ohaneze, invite Fulani soldiers to come and kill somebody. Understand this very carefully. At no time during the entire period of Fulani terrorism and rampage through our land did anybody call for assistance from the military or from Asarok. But the only person to come out to ensure that the stupidity of Fulani headsmen was brought to an end in Biafra land was targeted by these same people for elimination. Within 4 weeks of leaving Kuje prison, I successfully, through IPOB intelligence and volunteers, stopped over 80% of Fulani terror attacks in our land. The statistics are there. Go and check what was happening in Biafra land before I left prison and what became of Fulani headsmen once I was out. Southeast governors and Ohaneze proscribed IPOB under pressure, I hasten to add, from very violent Alamajiri, just because of our 30th of May that was as successful as anything they've ever seen before. Ango Abdullahi, the chief sponsor of all these Alamajiri youths, Arewa Consultative Forum, they are the ones now visiting Owerri, and a certain former freedom fighter, Ango Abdullahi, and Al Mustafa. They said they will bring the war to. They agreed that Nnamdi Kanu should be killed. Not only myself, but my men, my father and my mother, and the rest of my family. Meanwhile, the Fulani headsmen that came down to Enugu, to Nimbo, to be very precise, to massacre and to pillage, left unscathed, left completely untouched. Nobody touched them. Ohaneze never issued a statement, but they found it expedient to demand for Fulani soldiers to come to Afaruku to kill me and my people. But I said to them that IPOB is here to restore Biafra. No amount of trash talk online, no amount of blackmail, because we are used to it. IPOB is used to it. We are baptized in the thing that these people say or write about us that phases me. As a matter of fact, if they don't speak ill of me, I get worried. Those that know me know this very well. The only fuel I need to propel this agitation forward is the hatred other people feel for us. I feed off it. And that is why Biafra must come. On 2 occasions, I was invited to meet Southeast governors. And as Governor Mahi have candidly testified just a few days ago on BBC Igbo, I did nothing wrong. He admitted that Nnamdi Kanu did nothing wrong. I told Igbo governors and Ohaneze, if you want me to stop the agitation for Biafra, please go to Abuja and get me something. Get me a concession. I will not drop Biafra without a concession from you. And I made it very clear to them that if they want us to be free as a people, all they needed to do at that material point in time is parts of it, because it's numerous. But when their Ogas from Arewa called them and told them that what I was doing cannot be allowed to continue, they caved in, partly because of their jealousy of the popularity and respect that IPOB commands amongst our people. It was Ohaneze and Igbo governors that stopped the federal government of the zoo called Nigeria from negotiating with IPOB. Go and ask them. Because they didn't want our people to be free. Never. Therefore, the ban on Ohaneze and Igbo, the proscription of Ohaneze and Igbo, still stands till tomorrow morning. Any day they meet in public, their meeting will be disrupted. They have proven themselves to be a bunch of bloodsuckers in the pay and control of Arewa North. A shame and a disgrace to the most gifted, enlightened, blessed race in Africa. We are a very special breed, the best of the very best. That is why they hate us. Why do you think they hate us? Because we are very, very special. We make no apologies about that. Our mothers were humiliated. You know where? Some of you heard it. What did Ohaneze do? They were laughing and said, oh, they went out to protest for Nnamdi Kanu's whereabouts. And because of that, he serves them right. Some of them were great-grandmothers. A very filthy Fulani police officer locked them up because Igbo governors, Ohaneze and Igbo, and the so-called Igbo leaders, they all amount to nothing. Zero. Rocha Sokorocha, who is actually a northerner, an Arrow man. The Igbo governors, we are so terrified of their Fulani masters that they couldn't utter a word of condemnation of such an atrocious act in our own land. Unbelievable. These are the people that want us to regard them as leaders. When they took our mothers, they couldn't do anything about it. It is a leadership of betrayal. Igbo land has been shrunk to only 5 states. The sins of just within 2 hours. The 5 southeastern states, due to a combination of treachery, wickedness, and ignorance, abandoned our Igbo kith and kin in Benue, in Delta, in Cross River. Some of you don't know that Igbo community is in Cross River State. In Rivers and parts of Akwa Ibom. One people, Biafra. One people. We speak different languages and different dialects. We know that. But culturally, socially, politically, from of old, we've remained one people. Biafra is older than the zoo called Nigeria. We all know this. I have nothing against Igbo leaders, and I wish they can repent and change and fight for our people, the same way that IPOB is fighting. We have Ebema in Imo State, Ebema in River State. Do you think that other people will allow you to divide their own people like that? They gerrymandered the boundaries. You have Ebema in Delta, Ebema in Rivers, Ebema in Imo. The same family divided. Some say they are south-south. You are answering Anyanwu, I'm answering Anyanwu. One part of Anyanwu is south-south, the other one is southeast. Unbelievable. Time and time again, I've preached this very topic on Radio Biafra before. The Ndokwa community, all the way to Opobo. If you go to Opobo and you speak Igbo, somebody there will understand you. And as I'm always fond of saying, Anan gave Okonko to Abia and Imo. The same way that Efik gave Egbe to the eastern part of Abia State like Arochukwu and the rest. We are all one people. But due to a combination of greed, jealousy, and heaven knows what else, we've allowed these people to come into our land to divide us and to make mockery of everything that once made us a great people. We have indigenous Igbo-speaking people in Kogi State, but no one is talking about them because all Ohanese and the present crop of leadership is concerned with is how to feather their nests, how to make money from these themselves and their children in the grace and favor of our North. Chief Rogers Okalo came to see me in prison in Kuje. I spoke to him. I said to him, are you aware that when I was arrested in 2015, stroke 2016, as a result of our blockade of Headbridge, that the likes of IBB and Obasanjo, that's Ibrahim, giving an Igbo man the presidency of Nigeria? He said yes. I asked him another question. I said, amongst all of you that claim you are Igbo leaders, can you bring out just one person and present that person as a presidential candidate, should you be given the option? He said no, that they can't agree on who such a person would be. I said then, that is why we must go and get Biafra. Because within Biafra, we will not have people, godfathers from the north, telling us what to do. Nobody wants to step down for the other person. I read a few days ago that some Igbo leaders unanimously adopted Atiku. Very interesting. But the same group of people were busy castigating P2B. That was very typical of how things are done in the Southeast. And I must say, the entire Biafra land as a whole. Their preoccupation is self-preservation, not the well-being of the people. I remember when I was asked, when I came out, somebody called me and said the presidency wants us to ask you on more than 2 occasions to put it in writing what your minimum demands are, excluding outright independence for Biafra. I'm as inflexible as Ojukwu, which I've said when I was in detention. I decided to test their sincerity because I always allow people leeway. I told them that I don't want any monetary payment or financial reward. People must listen very carefully. That I want a devolution back to 1963 Constitution, back to the regions, which is essentially Abori. I told them I asked them to open Calabar Seaport and Warri Seaport. I did this in writing and I gave it to them. I asked them to dredge River Niger, allow direct international flights to Europe and the USA from Enugu, Iguacha, and Calabar airports, to have respect for the rule of law by releasing Dasuki and El Zatzaki, to set up an international commission of inquiry to investigate the mass murder of IPOB family members at Onisha, Mpoa, by Enugu, Iguacha, Omuahi, and Asaba. I told them also that I want region-based 100% resource control, complete deregulation of the power sector, and the setting up of a proper reconstruction, rehabilitation, reintegration commission for Biafra, which is essentially South, and Southeast areas, excluding Edo State. I never heard from them again. That is why we must boycott the elections. That is why IPOB must do everything within its powers to ensure that there is a total lockdown of the entire Biafra land come the presidential election of next year. Somebody was boasting today, I heard, that Victor Mess said on the Denibo radio that Nnamdi Kanu cannot be in Israel and dictate what is going to happen in Biafra land. I want to say this to some of them that may have adopted that very position. I am not IPOB. I do the will of IPOB. IPOB is the people, and the people is IPOB. They must understand this. Our quest for Biafra is part and parcel of a strategy aimed at making sure that things are done properly, how it should be done in a civilized society, which is an utter and complete repudiation of the fraudulent 1999 Constitution. Some of you have stopped talking about Leah Shuaibu. Some of us have granted Dasuki bail, and he's still in jail, in detention, illegal detention. You have people that claim they are senior advocates, people who are professors of law, even the vice president, But Dasuki is still in detention. After multiple pronouncements by competent courts of law that he ought to be released, the same applies to Dasuki. Impunity. When terrible things are happening to the poor masses, nobody is bothered about the well-being of those who are suffering. All they seem to care about is how much money they're going to make from the electoral process. May the good Lord have mercy upon us. Southern Kaduna is under siege. The killings in the Middle Belt, judicial process and corrupt judiciary, and all people are concerned about is to vote. Let us vote. This same haste to vote is the reason why a certificate-less Buhari, a compound illiterate, emerged in 2015 as your president. They say sometimes that if you want to, know how well or how backward the country is, look at those they vote into power. The haste to get rid of Jonathan be renewed led Obama to whip up this very wild sentiment against Jonathan, peddled by the likes of Bola Ahmed Tinubu. All of you then jumping up and down now, trying to vote or asking IPOB to call off the boycott. You were there. You knew Buhari had no certificate and therefore no right to become the president. But in your haste to try and make quick money during the campaigns, you got rid of Jonathan, a man who is as fake as plank, who is now dead. And they replaced him with a complete idiot from Sudan. That is the zoo for you. This same 2018 to 2019, you've come again with your election and voting. Why can't you lance the boil once and for all? Why don't you solve your problems once and for all by boycotting elections? You return power back to the people. You own the power, you take it back. And then you decide what type of country you want. It's simple. That every advanced country in the world at some point said enough is enough. This level of corruption we can no longer tolerate. But because some of you are blacks and Africans, I'm sorry to say, you're not strategic enough in your thinking. So what about today? What about tomorrow? Your family, your children, your generations unborn. We are not going to vote because we are too intelligent for that type of nonsense. Some of you that IPOB will not vote. And I'm here to justify why we shouldn't vote. First of all, can anybody tell me why Dasuki is still in prison? Why IPOB family member that went out to felicitate with Donald Trump during his inauguration is still in detention? Can anybody tell me why troops are being deployed internally within a country? What for? Do you know the meaning of soldiers and army? Do you know what they're there to do? They are there to defend you from foreign invaders. An army is not meant to be deployed to Bayelsa. We are deploying troops to Abia State. That is the job of the police. That is what everybody who went through secondary school was taught. It's just common sense. Why can't things be done properly in the zoo? Because they don't reason properly. And Biafrans cannot be a part of that type of, how can I put it, very shambolic and fraudulent arrangement. Tell me why a judge will say, release El Zakzaki, and he's still in detention. Can somebody please explain that to me? And you claim you are running a democracy. Shame on those of you that want to vote. Shame on this very democracy you claim that you practice. Your fraudulent Militaristic 1999 constitution was drawn up by Abdul Salami Abubakar. It is a military constitution. I remember the very respected Paya Banjo saying, and I think it was last year, that without the leaders of the Middle Belt, Southwest, South, and Southeast signed up to this document saying if there is no substantive restructuring, there will be no election. They've all forgotten. IPOB is special because we are consistent. We never change. We are the same yesterday, today, and forevermore. What happened to no restructuring, no election? Where are you going to get employment from? As a young man or as a young lady, a fresh graduate from a university, where are you going to work? Do you think Nigeria, as presently constituted, has what it takes or the capacity to absorb all the talents leaving universities every blessed year? Does it concern them? Do you know what it does to society when a sizable chunk of the employable youths are out there unemployed? That will be a lecture for another day. Who stole the money earmarked for Enugu-Onitsha Expressway? An Igbo politician stole the money. If you go to Law, I think it's Law Panther. Is it Law Panther? Where do you have all this imagery blocking the road, the express road? Where is it again? That's not you. Where's the Law Panther? It's an eyesore. An eyesore on Iguacha Enugu Expressway. After Kigwe, if you're heading towards Enugu. Where MB somewhere here road not built. The academic field is not level. You have to score 136? If you're from anywhere in the southeast, for you to gain admission into a unity school. If you're from Gombe, you only need to turn up. And some people are asking me to go and vote. Are you sure they are well at all? Just for asking people to. It's a body Amabikun. I don't think so. Fulani terrorist headsmen are running amok everywhere, slaughtering and killing people. How many times have you heard them parade a Fulani headsman? How many times have they been taken to court? How many times have they been convicted? How many times, I ask you? But an efulefu about IPOB. The education system in the zoo is substandard. Where is Second Niger Bridge? Where is it? Nigeria is so hopeless and useless that they had to go and bring, I don't know how to describe him, that thing from Sudan. As if you're blind, you cannot see. That thing you're looking at, Jubril, does that man look like Buhari to you? Can't you see his fingers? Are all of you that blind and stupid you cannot see? Nigeria is so hopeless that Buhari died. They buried him in Saudi Arabia. They went to Sudan and brought a complete idiot and put him in Nasser Rock. And Dave Umahi and Southeast governors said, what is that title they gave him again? I said, in Abakaliki. Someone from Sudan. That program is coming up next month. I will do it. The unlawful and humiliating detention of our mothers in Owerri. Operation Python dance, crocodile smile everywhere. You want us to go and vote. Who told you that terrorists vote? Where is it written that terrorists are allowed to vote? I ask you. Dave Umahi and Ohaneze proscribed IPOB. I want the world to ask them, what did IPOB do to you? I met the governors. I was to return to Enugu on the 22nd of September. They came to kill me I was rude to them. If they didn't want to listen to me, Why would we schedule another meeting? Professor Brian Webber was there. Why would we schedule another meeting for the 22nd? And then they came to kill me on the 14th. Okay, Bazu stupidly said, if we don't kill Nnamdi Kanu, many more Igbos would have died. I have it on tape. At the right time, I will play it. If you're joining us for the very first time, this is Radio Biafra. We don't do things the way others do it. We are very, very different here. We are unorthodox because we have not paid workers for nearly 3 years. This is what is driving me insane about Nigerians in the zoo. I don't understand them. They have not paid you for 3 years, and because election is round the corner, they've paid you only 8 months' salary, and you want to go and vote. Lord have mercy. If you go to the Sun newspaper publication, if I can get it, I think it was carried everywhere. Without restructuring, forget 2019 elections. That was the headline. They were quoting the very respected Pa Ayo Adebanjo. Should I repeat what I've just said? Without restructuring, forget 2019 elections. Then what are they talking about? Which elections are these people talking about? No restructuring, no 2019 elections, southern leaders. And now, today, they're telling us nonsense about going to vote. Insist on restructuring before 2019 polls. So all IPOB is trying to do is to help every Nigerian. We're helping them. Of course, we're going towards Biafra, but we're helping every other Nigerian in the process. Stand your ground. Cripple the 2019 elections, and you see the type of positive change it will usher into your lives. Look at a certificate forger like Buhari. But I is here about Nigeria. The man forged his certificate. Somehow he was allowed to run and he won because Obama was supporting him and most Western powers. You know, they love Fulani people. The most annoying thing about Buhari when he was alive was that he lied about his wealth certificate. During the last election, they told the public that his certificate was with the military, defense headquarters. That's what they said. Rank of a major general without basic education. That is Nigeria for you. These are the people you want me to go and vote for. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. The Igbo political class and their leadership is the worst thing that ever happened to our people. If you don't know, let me tell you, they are in the peril of our Fulani, brought shame and dishonor to our people. Even one that sometime attended a function to represent Abdul Salami Abubakar. Instead of supporting IPOB to set our people free, Southeast governors of Haneza and countless faceless and fake pro-Biafra groups. Fake. More than over corn at Biafra, their pro-Biafra group. They contribute, I don't know, maybe 1,000 naira. 4,300. He'll give them change of 700. They publish rubbish and say they are pro-Biafra group. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. The reason why we are suffering today, the reason why Fulani soldiers are killing us, the reason why Fulani headsmen are everywhere is because Arewa is in total control of the damnable zoological republic. Complete control. The two men went to the floor of the House, is it Senate, to demand for an inclusion of an Igbo man or somebody from Southeast in the, is it national, what was it again? Security Council, or whatever it's called. National Security Council. He was literally swept away from the half floor of the Senate. I told you, he was pursued outside. Like a rabbit. They can't talk. They are cowards. When they see me, they run. I've been watching it. These caliphate slaves in our land made it possible for them to attack us. Hungry, pro-Biafra groups. When you look at the law, at a lintel level, they start looking for politicians to give them money to buy additional road to complete it. Freedom fighters that know the price of a tip of sand. They're so hungry they think others are as hungry as they are. You know, we are Radio Biafra, we don't leave any stone unturned. Yes, we say it here, and if we are bar, there's no secret. You know me very well. I have no secret. Some idiots left IPOB. They were recruited by DSS, recruited by Ohaneze to work against a project ordained by heaven, which is IPOB. When I regained of September, I was told that some people were asking after our defense fund. I couldn't help but laugh. I said, is it some people that were asking, that asked after our transmitter that is now with the DSS? So they want to know where our money is so they can go and tell the zoo government. This is where their money is, so go there, you'll find it and take it from them. They were tormenting me before. Animal Rights Initiative. You know I'm very sensitive. That I didn't buy any transmitter. I did a video of that transmitter. Do you know where next I found myself watching that video? Was at DSS custody. They said, this is your transmitter. Now we have it. So I told all these baby saboteurs, I will not tell you. When the time comes, you will know. I will unmask Jubril next month. I will ask this very family, IPOB worldwide, to be forgiving and very tolerant. Those that may have offended you, I know them very well. Before I came on air, I was told, you know your status, mind the way you speak. And I said to them, being honest and being truthful never did Donald Trump any harm, neither did it harm Benjamin Netanyahu. I will be truthful. I will speak the truth because I am whiter than white and whiter than snow. Anybody who thinks they can do what I have done, just stand in front of El Rufai and tell him he's a madman. In Buhari's court, I called him a madman. With only my microphone, they came after me with armored tanks. Now, who is the coward? They said I was tormenting the Zoo army and had to go and bring a man from Sudan with the help of Ohanese and Igbo governors to kill me. My own people. No amount of distraction or INEC-inspired disqualification of Jubril will suffice. Because people knowingly allowed or imported a Sudanese. They knew it. It's no longer a fraud. It is the... Oh my goodness. I don't even have the words to qualify it. The worst form of criminality. Do you know why they brought Jubril from Sudan? Some of you read, but you don't study. I read an article written by my very good friend and brother, Fani Kayode, where he taunted the Fulani Caliphate. He said to them, any Fulani man that goes into Asorok will die prematurely or will be expelled from office prematurely. They said, okay, if that is the case, we are going to show you. So the day Buhari died, 27th of January 2017, they said no. Even Atiku knows Buhari is dead. Ask them, but because they are part and parcel of the same caliphate, the same cabal, they kept quiet. They know. If they come out tomorrow morning and hold Quran in one hand, looking at the sun, and they swear that that man, that thing in Asorok is Buhari, they will die before 12 hours. Before they stop, but they can't deceive IPOB. They know what to do. Give us our referendum, I will leave you alone. If you don't give me a referendum, I will tear the zoo to pieces. I've not picked up arms yet. Only microphone. But the truth is very potent, isn't it? If any Igbo man has called me on the phone before and said to me, Nnamdi Kanu, take this to run IPOB, I will not survive till the end of this year. Remember when I used to swear on air that if I do anything wrong in IPOB, if I preach one thing and do another thing, that Chukwuka Kadova should kill me. I've said it before many times. Because they are not like me and they can never be like me. I am whiter than white and whiter than snow. And they know it. I cannot be bought. My mission in life is to restore Biafra, and Biafra will be restored. There is nothing any idiot can do about it. Even those with nuclear weapons. They can't do nothing. Chukwuka Kadova knows. If Biafra doesn't come, His Almighty God, I will say, we called your name, and you showed me a vision and said Biafra will come. If it doesn't come, I'm only a mere mortal. One day I will die, but your name reigneth forever. So every generation will remember that you went back on your word, and you are God, and you don't go back on your word. That's who I am. Those that know me. Boss one. What a boss one the other day. They said I shouldn't take the public transport. It doesn't diminish. It doesn't take away anything from me. I am who I am. I've come to serve my people. And you know I love IPOB so much. The very best people on the face of this very earth. The greatest family anybody can belong to. The children of light. I will love them always. Till the end of time. Because I know that if there is something like reincarnation, if I come back again, I will be watching it. I will find IPOB, and I will belong to IPOB. Don't them to their problem. Nnamdi Kanu is their problem, and the solution is referendum. Give it to me, and I leave you alone. You don't give it to me, the zoo will perish, and millions with it. I thank you all very much for listening. My deputy, the very dependable, very loyal Uchemefo. Ono hinu gonya mai. Worker go. He kept IPOB intact. Our writers, those of you that family writers to Muchubu, to TBV, all of you that fight every blessed day. Ferocious battles, and we have never lost any. We have never lost any battle. Nnamdi, he's a fraudster. He's a cheat. He's a scam. And I said, have you given me one penny before? Oh, you're saying all these things, so I will tell you how we get funding to run the largest mass movement on earth. You are insane. I laugh, and as I said, when I don't see all those things coming from our enemies, I get upset because I need it. That's the only thing I need. Once again, I thank all of you for listening. I will come back to you at some time in the future. And until then, may keep, guide, sustain, and keep each and every one of you now and forevermore, I pray. Ise, Ise, Ise. Good evening, wonderful people, great dear friends, wherever you are on the face of this very planet. We welcome you excitedly this evening to another presentation of Radio Biafra live broadcast. Approximately 5 minutes past the top of the hour in Biafra land, and the same number of minutes past the hour wherever you are domiciled on this very earth. We welcome you, and as we do so, we ask you to also welcome other people who will undoubtedly benefit from the redeeming grace of this very gospel we are about to disseminate this very evening. I say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good evening, Radio Biafra across a variety of platforms. Whichever way endeavor to let those around you also know how to receive Radio Biafra. We are online. Radio Biafra is on 102.1, 102.2, 102.3 across Biafra land. We are also live on Facebook. We are on satellite. We have the wish to participate in this very program. There is nothing stopping you from doing so. That is why this very gospel must be preached unapologetically and without compromise. Wherever you are, welcome to once again. My name is Nnamdi Kanu. I am the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, and by the grace of the Most High, on this very glorious Shabbat evening, I remain a humble servant of the wonderful people of Biafra. We have come that the truth might prevail. We have every age, that for every age after us, for every generation that will come after us, what we are doing is right before the sight of God in heaven and man on this very earth. Evil has come. The devil has come to destroy and to defame, to basically desecrate the high places of the Most High. They have come that day may turn to night. They have come to spill the blood of the innocent. They have come that truth may become lies, and lies accepted as truth. But insofar as, inasmuch as we live and we breathe, this very noble family of IPOB will not allow evil to prevail. Wherever we see injustice, we fight it. It doesn't matter if that very injustice is being forced upon those that we may ideologically disagree with. Therefore, this evening's broadcast is exceptionally important. It is very, very critical that you attend with your pen and your paper as usual, and a great dose of common sense to add. Before we proceed, we must pray. I understand that the whole world is listening, including those in the Far East, those in Japan, those in Australia, those of you in New Zealand that I will be meeting very shortly. Everywhere is agog with excitement for the upcoming tour of the Far East and Australia. Before we go any further, Chukwuka Biama must accept every praise, every honor, and every adoration. We pray as we always pray, that we are nothing before the sight of the Most High, because only Him liveth from eternity to eternity. We are mortals and we are flesh. We come and we go, but the words of Chukwuka Biama shall remain forever. We must bow down our heads in prayer as the ancients did. He that dwelleth in Elohim, Chukwuka Biama, He is our refuge and our fortress. He is our God, and in Him we trust. Not in any man, not in any flesh, not in any carvings made by the hands of men. Our trust is in the Most High Elohim. Surely, Chukwuka Biama shall deliver us from the snare of the fowler, from the Fulani pestilence. He shall cover us with His feathers, and under His wings we shall lie protected. The truth that Chukwuka Biama has given to us shall be our shield and our buckler. We will not be afraid of the terror from the Fulanis by day, nor from their AK-7s at night. It doesn't matter what they do. It doesn't matter how they do it. One thing is obvious. One thing is undeniable. Men will fall and men will die as they are doing right now. But nothing else and with our eyes we shall behold the beauty of this coming nation, the re-emergence of true freedom in Africa, the light of the black world, and the power through which progress can be made possible in sub-Saharan Africa. Our enemies shall never devour us, and we shall live to see what shall become of them. Because he is our refuge, because upon him have we anchored our hope, no evil shall befall us. There shall be no evil that can or will overwhelm this very genuine agitation, this very effort to restore the kingdom of heaven upon the face of this very earth. Elohim has given instructions to the angels. There is nothing our enemies can do for us. He will crown our efforts with glory. And we will call upon him and he will answer. And he's answering us this very day. In times of trouble, as it is at this very moment, he is with us. That is why the Fulani murderous machine will never ever overcome us. Because Biafra shall remain, because Biafra shall live, and there is nothing our enemies can do about it. We shall prevail, that Elohim's grace may dwell upon the lives of his children, upon this very noble IPOB family, not just today, not just next week, not just next month, nor next year, but forever and ever we pray this very evening. He said, for some reason, you must bear with us. We are having very serious interruption very evening in terms of our network. It is not beyond the zoo to keep attacking our efforts. But we shall proceed because I understand that the signals are clear, live and direct. For some reason, for some inexplicable reason, I don't know if our Facebook connection is still there, if it is working, but we shall proceed all the same. This is Radio Biafra. We are live and we are direct. And today is Saturday, the 27th day of July, in the year of our Most High Elohim 2019. The time now is approximately 16 minutes past the top of the hour, regardless of where you are. Everybody in yourself. Everybody is aware of what has been happening in the damnable zoological republic. Of the evil that has been perpetrated or is being perpetrated on a daily basis against the innocent, against the weak and the very humble. To protect is a crime in the zoo. To agitate is a crime in the zoo. To hold any opinion that differs from that of the Fulani is a crime punishable by the courts in that eyes of a black person. And this evening we look at the case of the proscription and the tagging of terrorism against the Shia sect, the IMN Islamic Movement of Nigeria. Just as was the case with us in IPOB, the indigenous people of Biafra, the activities of Shia Muslim sect, which compels some must add very quickly. Everything that the Shia movement or El Zagzagi's group has been doing has been within the confines of the law. That is the truth. Anybody who observes or has taken time to observe G7 summit, G20, G40, name it, anarchists protest. They destroy properties. They agitate very violently. None of them is locked up. None of them is in imprisoned. Nobody opens fire on them. Not to think, what is it that the Europeans that gave us all that we know in terms of modern governance do things differently? I know where the blame lies, and I shall be apportioning that very blame this evening. There is nothing wrong with what Shia has been doing, what the group of El Zagzagi has been doing. We have been at the forefront of campaigning for the release of El Zagzagi and also the release of Dasuki. The courts have given order after order in that court order. But surprise, surprise, they went back to the same court to go and get an order to prescribe the Shia sect and to sustain the legally unsustainable, which is the incarceration, illegal detention, I should say, of Sheikh El Zagzagi. Some people wonder why we have chosen this path. Some people wonder what IPOB is up to. Why are we supporting the Shia movement? We have a soul. We reject injustice. We repudiate everything that has to do with injustice. You cannot regard yourself as a human being when you see evil being perpetrated on a daily basis to the detriment of the entire society, and you keep quiet because you hold a divergent opinion from whoever is being afflicted. El Zagzagi must be released, and the tagging of the Shia group as a terrorist organization cannot hold water. Not now, not today, not tomorrow, not ever. It can never ever stand. It cannot hold. Because it's based on falsehood. You arrested a man, you killed 7 of his children, you killed 1 of his wives, critically injured about 2 others, you left him blind in 1 eye, and the court has said to you, this man should be released. You did not obey that court order. But when you went behind people's back, as you normally do, to go and obtain an expatriate order, whatever rubbish you call it, in the damnable Zoological Republic, expatriate motion, I have to be grammatically exact. How come you are now obeying a court order that says that El Zagzagi should be locked up indefinitely? That the Shia group in Nigeria should be tagged a terrorist movement? So all of a sudden, you now obey court judgment. What is the difference between the pronouncement of this very judge and that same, the other judge that gave bail to Zagzagi? What's the difference? Are they not going from the same high court of Nigeria? It's not the same high court that comes out to obey. Because this very judge, this one that granted this expert motion, is in your pocket. You have intimidated the idiots to the point whereby they now preside over impunity. But maybe you have bribed him with a house in Dubai, as you normally do. And as I said, I will come to who is to be blamed for this whole nonsense. The Shia group has done nothing wrong. Absolutely nothing wrong. They are agitating. If a child is 9 months in the stomach and the mother refuses to give birth to that very baby, the mother will die. The child will agitate. Not selective. You don't decide those who give freedom of speech to, those who give freedom of association to. You don't decide who you give freedom. Freedom is universal. What is good for the kids is also good for the gander. If you want freedom, you must allow that freedom not only to exist, but to be exercised. Even when you disagree with it, that is what makes you a human being, not the animals that we are in Africa. It is very, very disgraceful. And I'll get to that later. As to who is to be blamed for this whole nonsense. They prescribed IPOB, you all kept quiet. They have prescribed unless they are in agreement with you, unless what you're protesting for is in conformity with the government position. And to make matters worse, all this nonsense is being presented by somebody from Sudan. That is the most painful, difficult aspect of it. Attack Yari and El Rufai is one. Of every individual in this room, your brain is being messed up by Attack Yari. El Rufai. All because Tinubu wants to be president. so enraged. I now begin to agree with Trump, even more so. We in Africa should be recolonized 1,000 times. We are useless. We are useless beyond useless. A black man in Africa is hopeless. I'm enraged, I'm telling you. We black people, we are demented. We are not well. We don't understand the very simple, basic tenet of democracy. You must obey God's order. You must obey it. You must, even if you don't like it, you have to obey it. But in this rule, you don't. Abakiyari and the Fulani Kappa, they decide. Because they are Sunni Muslim, because of that, we must cram down on Shia. We must destroy them. Who told you that? Religious belief is not something you can eradicate. It's impossible. It is simple, you cannot do it. The Constitution of the Zoo guarantees freedom of religion. If somebody wants to worship, if they want to practice their Shia aspect of Islamic religion, there is intelligent business. It's not your business. And trying to claim that they have a tie to Iran as justification is rubbish. Holds no water. That means you don't understand what freedom is all about. IPOB supports Israel. And we do so till the day we die. We will continue to support Israel. It doesn't matter. That is our view against Israel. Because of that, you hate IPOB because of it. That means you're being very foolish. As long as I'm aware, Iran has never attacked anybody or killed anybody in the zoo. That is the truth. That is, you may not like it, but it's the truth. The people actually doing the killing, nobody is prescribing them. Are you sure that Nigerians are killing everybody? Where is it from? The people killing you every blessed day, they are not the terrorists. Where is your... Hey! Why did God create me a black African in the midst of people whose stupidity is beyond, it has fallen off the scale, where it can't be comprehended? Our stupidity and hopelessness is so bad that I cannot begin to define it. I can't define it. What did El Sarfati do? Someone should tell me what the Shia did in Nigeria to warrant being tagged as a terrorist group. That's IPOB. What did they do? The police has killed nearly 2,000 of them. You expect them to wait each time to be slaughtered? Is that what you're thinking? Are you normal at all? And these youths, the black people are useless. I'm saying this on the radio station, being listened to all over the world, and I'm letting everybody know that blacks in Africa, we blacks, our brain is not complete. You cannot begin to convince me that black people are human beings. It is impossible. With what is happening in Nigeria, what is happening in Africa, a black man is useless. Beyond useless. Beyond useless. It is being appropriated by force and giving even to them. You have not complained. You have done nothing. And you have the temerity to rise up to speak against Shia in Nigeria. It can never be well with you and your family. You people are evil. I said it before and allow me to repeat. You see God in heaven, when they heaven at all? Is there God in heaven tonight? Because if there is, Africa ought to be destroyed. Africa is full of the evil and ignorance in Africa is indescribable. Indescribable. You people are evil. Blacks are evil. I'm telling you, evil beyond comprehension. And God will destroy the black race. We shall remain slaves to the whites forever and ever. As long as we continue to reason this wickedly, it can never be well with black people. I tell you, we are evil. The man is blind in what? There is no compassion. No single compassion. Nobody is moved by the plight of this man. All you think about is Iran. You think about Syria. What nonsense? What planet are you living on? The Nigerians are to blame for this very mess. So also is the American ambassador to Nigeria. So also is the British High Commissioner to Nigeria. These are the people supporting evil. When Obama came to remove Jonathan, I told you that Obama will remove Jonathan, and Jonathan was moved. Look at where we are today. People will come into my village with AK-47, rape my mother, slaughter us, and they give them land. Somebody is simply protesting. Release my leader. Know that they are protesting against you to obey what your God said. You refused. You responded by killing them. And you went back to the same court, the same federal high court of Nigeria, in the same Abuja, to go and obtain an order prescribing his troop. The same law, the same judgment you said you will not obey. You are now going back to obey the one that suits you. And you are telling me that Nigeria is a nation, that Nigeria is a country. Check up on Okodi and the Arakuno. This COG, black people. Because of that, I'll make you slaves to whites. Do you see why we are suffering? Because your heart is evil. You don't listen properly. These are people who can... Because Yoruba media wants 2023 for Tinubu to be president, they condemn every evil. And if Yoruba nation does not take time, I tell you tonight that evil shall never come in the land. I say what I say with justification. I will read the concept of Punch newspaper. But satanic, you are evil, the personification of the forces of darkness. You people are evil. Evil. Madagan, we hold your name over it. Evil is happening and you keep quiet. You cannot support funny headsmen. Oh, Chineken. I don't know why God brought you to Africa. I don't know why. I should have come as a tree in the forest. Maybe they cut me down and use me as for sympathetic. Asia is progressing. South America is progressing. The only place not growing in the world is Africa. Because you people are evil. You support evil. Your heart is black. As black as we are. Evil. Darkness. What's it today? You are in a country where your so-called president from Sudan decides which church am I going to obey. I don't like this ruling, I want to obey it. I like this one, let me obey it. And you people are keeping quiet. We want to see what's your name. You are quiet and evil is happening. And you are telling me you're educated. You are telling me you have conscience. And tomorrow you go to church. Oh, dear me. This assignment is too much. I tell Elohim it's too much for me. I cannot come from a continent where people cannot reason, where there is no conscience, where wickedness and evil is the order of the day. The black race is a disgrace to humanity. The black race is an eyesore. Who is happening and you're quiet? Take a book, come there. Because Sasaki is not your brother, not your sister. Do you know how people feel about your religion? Do you know how they feel about you and your religion? People will have the guts in America to complain about racist attacks. Oh, that the whites are attacking me, that racist. I wish I could of us be, I'm telling you the truth. We don't deserve to be alive. Black people do not deserve to walk this. We are a stain on the earth. Our rootedness stinks to high heavens and back. We are an evil race. Quote me, that's what I said. See, mark the date of today. In any other country on this earth, what Jubril did will send him back to Sudan immediately. How can you decide which church to obey? That is good. I didn't go to school. Malami is saying, if not for what I've been doing, telling people without trial, there will be no Nigeria. Nigeria for whose benefit? For your benefit and for some Yoruba people. For the benefit of those that make billions from oil and gas from Biafra land. That's all. That's for me, just are too blind to say. Useless benefit is that. In a place where people cannot reason like human beings, in the head of state. Oh dear Lord, have mercy. We are an evil race. Anytime you see another black person being killed in America, know that God is punishing you for what you have done because you're evil. Evil beyond evil, I'm telling you. And who brought this message on us? It's not Obama. It's not a black man. Who brought this mess into this room? It's Obama. Isn't it? And they ran the British to sustain what is unsustainable. India knows, everybody knows. That because you don't want the terms of a proven right, you don't want IPOP to proven right, you have decided to cover people. It will consume you. Yoruba media will suffer. Yoruba media will suffer. They will suffer and they will suffer. For this injustice, they keep on against so many people. Poor people. You know your name, I want it. Because you control newspaper. Your preachers are in Pentecostal churches, they tell Jesus what to do and obey them. They cannot rise up from the pulpit and speak the truth. Because Isaac is not a Christian, he's not a Pentecostalist. Because of that, let's leave him to die. You are evil. You are beyond evil. We are a useless race. Black race is a disgrace on humanity. White people can never allow such nonsense to happen. Because instead everybody will die. They can't allow this. That's the difference between black and white. Whites cannot allow this nonsense to happen. It won't happen. Don't tell me about taking Spanish slavery. It was our white allowed God to hand us over to whites to enslave us. We are wicked. We are a wicked race. That is why we are suffering. I must continue because the truth must be spoken on this very platform. Your full constitution guarantees freedom. Freedom of worship, freedom of speech, the right to even protest is there. They don't obey their own laws because they don't know. When you appoint a chief justice who is more or less nonsense to get. Now you're telling me in a country that claims it practices democracy that you can choose which of the judges you obey his or her ruling and which one to ignore. Is that what you're telling me? The same court you said I will not obey your order. You went back to the same court to come and obtain an order to keep somebody in prison in perpetuity and to ban his movement. Hey, we blacks have taken wickedness and impunity to a different level altogether. That is what we have done. I never believed in my life that Africa can be so, not just back, we are backwards. Who doesn't know we are backwards? We have added another layer of evil to it. No wonder Michael Jackson was preaching himself to be white. I do apologize to Michael Jackson. I have now seen what he saw. Michael Jackson was trying to make himself white because he looked at us and knew that we are evil. So this evil upon evil. Before he died, they got into power on the back of corrupt money, River State money stolen by MH. Today, Buhari's son is the fourth richest person in Africa. And the affected corruption. You people are useless. Hopeless to the core. Put me right is what I said. You're hopeless. Shia Group, the IMN, Islamic Movement of Nigeria, or for Nigeria, I don't know what to call them, is not a terrorist group. It is not and can never be. For all that nonsense, people saying that tied to Iran and all that rubbish, that is bunkum. El Bazzagi, what crime did he commit? We shall get to that later. There is no other place on this earth that a religious body has ever been prescribed. Never. Not on this earth. All this nonsense with Shia and the Sunni Islam is their business. Nothing to do with the secular constitution. So when Jubril and when Abba Kyari and El Rufai pursue your business, I'm sure he didn't. They would have been, you people are cowards. There is no place on this earth, not even in Saudi Arabia, can you ban. Do you know they have Shia in Saudi Arabia? Have they been banned? How can you go and take a leader of a movement and you expect them to keep quiet? Like other people are keeping quiet. That's what you expect. You bring your wickedness and injustice upon the people and you expect them to just sit down and take it. The answer is no. Like I believe we won't take it. We'll keep on agitating until we are free. Because one day everybody will die, isn't it? Nobody lives forever. Nobody does. So Biafra must come. The blame for what is happening, I don't call it Sasaki. The blame for the injustice in the zoo that the British created is caused by three groups of people. Only three. Our stupidity as black people. The British High Commission and the British Mission in Nigeria is satanic. Another one is the American ambassador to Nigeria. They collect money from Nigerian government not to send the accurate report back to their home countries. I bet you that the State Department in America does not know what is happening in the zoo because they embellish it. It's summer header crisis. It's a clash. The police and the army came shooting dead Shia protesters. And you call it a clash between the two. The whole ambassador, American ambassador, is sending back, feeding the State Department in Washington lies about Nigeria. Because he's a millionaire. The same thing with the British. This is the level of evil and wickedness we have. American embassy in Nigeria, British High Commission in Nigeria, and the stupidity of black people. We are black and we are useless. Those are the three factors holding you down as a perpetual slave. I didn't say it's the American official policy or the British official policy. No. I said their missions in Nigeria, the American ambassador is corrupt. The British High Commissioner is more than corrupt. Nigeria, their mission reports back to their home countries. If you ask them now, they'll write, when ask them, what happened about no, I think we sent some trouble, there may be a link with Iran, there may be a link. All lies. All lies. The U.S. Embassy takes the blame, the British High Commission, and the stupidity of us black people, black Africans, we are useless. Stop pretending we are more than hopeless. Forget all the degrees, PhD, SSG, like rubbish. We are useless. Useless. As black people, our natural disposition towards evil, we love evil. This type of nonsense cannot happen in a white man. It's impossible. You can't even try that rubbish. And the Prime Minister or as Trump is, you choose which laws to obey, which one. They will come to White House and control you out. He said they will bundle you, they will put chain you won't mess up. You won't mess with the people. That's how it's done. Do you see how advanced whites are compared to you blacks? Because, when you go to the court sometimes, some of you see the picture of a woman or statue. The woman is blind with a blindfold, with the scale on one hand and sword on the other hand. Some of you go to law school, you don't know what that thing means. They say law is blind. And look at the idiots. Do you know why they say it's blind? Because justice is blind. It doesn't matter who is affected. It doesn't matter if it's a share or IPOB or whoever. It doesn't matter. The law is the law. So when somebody who is a Sunna Muslim gets favorable ruling in the court, they release them. Those doing the killing in the zoo, they are all Sunna, Wahhabi, fundamentalists. It's okay. Give them more land. Why don't you dialogue with them? But once it's Shia, once it's IPOB, why then you can kill them? After all, the American ambassador will say it's nothing. And that's what they do. Do you know before they came to invade my house that the British government was informed? And they came to go ahead to come and kill me? Are you aware of that? So I'm telling you live on air. In time, all will be revealed. Our natural disposition towards evil and wickedness is why a Sudanese can do whatever he likes. Everybody knows this from Sudan. Look at him and look at the and you will know that your stupidity and your natural cowardice. You're a black person, you cannot reason. This is your black and useless. Black and useless. We are black and we are useless to the core. If you support evil, anything I say about you, you should accept it with good grace. Some of you may ask this evening, how did we come to this stage of rejecting one judgment but accepting another from the same court, depending on the judge who is ruling in your favor? 7 out of 8 children of Zagzagi have been murdered by the Nigerian state. And they're telling me here that he doesn't have the right to be angry, but he won't see anything wrong with it because you're black. Anytime you go on social media, you see somebody not making any sense, that person is probably a black person. And that's correct. Fanny Kayode. I'm borrowing what he wrote. You shot his wife in the stomach. The wife was shot 4 times. And has been in detention until now. Not just like that, even the wife is also in detention. This man was shot and blinded in one eye. It doesn't touch you because you're black. As a black person, your heart is cold. Cold and blind to light. Because you're black, South Africa. You are evil. You don't empathize. There is no empathy. You don't see. All you care about is, who is winning? So since the Fulanis are now killing everybody and they're on top, let me support Fulani. You have no soul and you have no conscience. That is why God placed you. I'm asking God, but what did I do? Why take me to Africa? I'm still thinking and asking God, what did I do? Because I am better off as maybe as something that could be useful to humanity. We blacks are not useful to mankind. We are a waste of space. You did all this to this man, and you think you will succeed. What is the crime of Sheikh El Zakzaki? You bring out the same thing you did when I found BSS. It's all that. Can you see them? Can you see them? But you cannot see funny head men. You can't see them. That is what's killing you and raping you every day, but you never learn. Because you're black and you're timid. I'm so upset tonight. I wouldn't normally do a program like this, but I am enraged. Enraged. Africa is a disgrace. Trump was said he was going to, he was going to deport people from America. He should start very, very quickly. And he also banned some people from traveling for election rigging. And they said their politicians know. Every vice chancellor in the zoo and their families should be barred from traveling to the USA. And their children, excuse me, would be deported back to come and face the consequences of the destruction their parents have brought on ordinary people. Who are the ones that reside on the vice chancellors with PhD, emeritus professor, rubbish, but they were there rigging election for jobs and illiterates. Trump should hurry and deport everybody. In fact, every nation should, myself included, I don't exclude myself. We don't deserve anything good. We Africans are a disgrace to humanity. Big disgrace. We must remember that there was a time when Goodluck Jonathan was stoned when he went to campaign in the north. Did Jonathan open fire on the people? Did Jonathan ask anybody to open fire on the protesters? They burnt his posters, his billboards in the north. Did he open fire? If you're in the south, they will open fire to people. And you have one idiot who probably doesn't know his father somewhere either in Lagos or in Abuja writing, oh, but they shouldn't have stopped him. Where one person's right stops, another one begins. Like that, something to about law and morality. Where one person's right ends, another one starts. Some rubbish like that. So you won't allow Nigeria to fight for itself based on its laws. You are in your office somewhere in Abuja saying, what I'm doing here, by breaking the law, which is what the Tony El Zakari means, you are by breaking the law. Somehow you're keeping Nigeria one. And I remind my Yoruba brothers, have you seen what you have done? You have strengthened them. Now, they personify impunity. And that impunity will consume you. What I see what will happen in Yoruba is, your journalists are evil. Yoruba have been screaming and shouting, Yoruba journalists are evil. Until they repent and change, everybody will go down with them. Jonathan, on the 21st of January 2015, went to the north. Nothing happened to those that stoned him and burned his effigy and his billboards. Jonathan did not retaliate. I was in detention in Kuje. Not in Kuje, sorry, at the DSS dungeon in Abuja. December 2015, when I received the message that they have massacred people in the north. I asked them why were they massacred. They said because Buratai was attending, wanted to go see the emir of Zaria, if I recall very, very well. And his motorcade was blocked. He's an ordinary army chap, but he has a motorcade up to 50 vehicles long. That's Africa for you. Primitive idiots everywhere. His motorcade was blocked, and because of that, thousands were mowed down. Some of you saw only 2 days ago the motorcade of Boris Johnson, the new British Prime Minister, was blockaded. Nothing, before they ran away, they took another route and ran away. In Nigeria, you come out with soldiers, you have not even defeated Boko Haram. All your so-called and I'm a general. Do you know why we Africans are fools? We always celebrate evil. And that is why evil is following us all over the place. And we keep wondering, why are we not developed? I traveled to Asia. They have like a, your stupidity is the reason why. But you don't see it. Because you're so helpless, you cannot see your own stupidity. We blacks are useless, I'm telling you. Never mind a terrorist group because they don't like what they're doing. Release their leader according to God pronouncement. You're saying no, I won't do it. Because you are Sunni Islam, and they are here. You don't like them. Unbelievable. This is according to Yoruba newspaper, Punch, how they reported it. The Federal High Court in Abuja on Friday ordered the proscription of Shia movement as protest by the Islamic organization rocks Abuja. They can never tell you. They can never write in the detail and say to the government, what you're doing is wrong. Obey God's order. No. People want to represent the state, so why bother? Their protest now is our turn. Let's put Yoruba man there. Now we have reached an agreement. You're planning rule small. You're about to rule small. That's what they're saying. And some idiots in the so-called Niger Delta will be talking rubbish every day. After thinking, put the people they'll be talking nonsense. Let's continue. Saturday Punch reports that Justice Ntonye Maha, whatever, have you heard of the name Maha before? The person's name is Ntonye Maha. Whatever happens. Because the name they go to their favorite, what their favorite is Kafarati. I'll complain. They go to this one now. Ntonye Maha. I've never heard of such business name before. Who answered Maha? From Igbo land. Maha, Ntonye Maha. What is the meaning of Maha? These are the idiots that converted to Islam in order to be able to get one or two contracts. So they can come back. He said he issued the order in a ruling in which he also designated the activities of the Shia organization in any part of Nigeria as acts of terrorism and illegality. Illegality. But I'm asking a question. What legality is the government standing on? Not to obey a court order before yours. Why should the government obey your own order you have issued, but ignore the order of another judge? And she's learned, whatever that stupid name means. The court went further to restrain any person or group of persons from participating in any form of activities involving or concerning the IMN, the Shia group, under the platform in Nigeria. In other words, they should no longer protest. So instead of you to ask why are people protesting or make laws to mitigate against such protests in the future, if it is truly against the law, you quietly proscribe them and tag them terrorists. You see how the brain of a black person works. And you want me to respect you. Impossible. Her name is Justice Maha. Wherever she comes from, I don't know. I've never heard her name before. Ntonye Maha. M-A-H-A. I keep asking. Does anybody answer Maha? Anywhere you come from? Maha. M-A-H-A. Maha. Ntonye Maha. Unbelievable. This is a report by Yoruba newspaper. Let me go to the part that is quite interesting. They reported it. That's what one that people did not report it. They said a clash between army and protesters. Clash. I see protesters have AK-47. Do protesters have AK-47? The answer is no. El Zagzagi and the wife have been in custody since 7 news, since 2015. The Yoruba man went on to write about the affidavit, what happened and everything. I don't hate Yoruba race. My good friends are from there, very close friends, I isn't hard. But if I see evil, I say it. If I see injustice, I fight it. The Yoruba media, we are where we are today because of you. This same Yoruba media fought Abacha, you know. Precisely you. And Abacha was more ruthless. They have jettisoned every moral ground, every value they had. Because it's their turn to loot in 2023. Yoruba media. Yoruba media. Yoruba media. Okay. Do you know, let me say, this is the part that got me very upset. It says, this is according to the court, what this man and woman wrote. See, I said earlier that we blacks are evil. Even from a sitting judge in a court of law. I want to prove to you this evening how evil we blacks really are. Listen to what she wrote. This is the judge that prescribed here. She said, the violent and aggressive activities of the members of the respondents, which is Shia group, under the guise of clamoring for the release of their leader, have not only heightened tension and insecurity in the country, but it is also earning the country negative rating globally. Shia protest is earning you negative ratings. Not fully headsmen in the country, not you rigging election. Hey, this is from a high court judge in Nigeria. She went on to write, both the US and UK governments have already issued travel warnings on Nigeria on account of these violent protests. Is that true? Hey, they issued warnings because of Fulani, you people, what you're doing. Fulani headsmen, Fulani terrorists, all the way from Asarok. Fulani terrorists, and look at the way Yoruba people reported it. I see it is true. This is the pronouncement of a judge in a court of law in the 21st century. Hey, I will continue. It recalled that before the July 27, 2019 incident, the group's members in a violent protest on July 9, 2019, while trying to force their way to the National Assembly complex, come to London and see what protest is. So, you can't touch them and you see what the law will do to you. Do you see? And then when I'm sure this Maha, whatever she's called, went to school in America, or she will not tell you I am Harvard Law or Yale or Stanford Law. I'm having it to Orlando. There is nothing Harvard or Stanford or Cambridge or Oxford about whiplash. Look at all the landmark rulings of this world. Ruling against the state. A judge will sit down and write all the rights of one single person. But here, it's because Madam Asoro wants to call you. It's your turn now to issue that what's it called? Expert motion. What is hear it? That is why when I saw somebody said in London a few years ago that when somebody says he's a professor and he's black, we first of all slap him because it's meaningless. A black professor is useless. They can't do anything. Definitely with a judge. This is what somebody wrote that went to school. Lies upon lies. You were stopped from going to America because of your fraudulent you read the lesson. Simple as that. You're blaming it on Shia. Travel warnings everywhere because of the kidnappings of the Fulani headsmen. Fulani. Not because of Shia. But you're not worried that if it's true. Oh dear me. Tomorrow there's a here of how can I hate Europe? All my best friends are from there, but I have to tell them the truth. The same way I'm telling the truth about us black people. I want to let you know tonight that God in heaven looked at the hearts of men and realized that in Africa, Africa is wicked, very, very wicked, I'm telling you. That's why he said, you people will come last. You will be slaves to other nations. They will trample upon you because you are evil and you are wicked. They said that a judge wrote in July 27, 2007, the group murdered a Sunni cleric in Sokoto. They have come. It is a battle between Sunna and Karen on the side. And the American ambassador. They are getting their money every month. Every month they get their money. So it doesn't matter how many of you end up being slaughtered. Right answer is it's a minor clash. You know, is access to water for the livestock. They need to drink water. The Nama need to drink water. You know, it's access to water. That's the problem. A whole ambassador trading in the blood of wretched, hopeless, and tomorrow you complain. Tomorrow you complain. complain. When they kill a black person in America, you start complaining. But when they kill in your village, you are clapping for black eye and his troops. They have not won any war outside. They lost in Bakassi. They want to come up, they ran back. They have never served with distinction in any theater in the whole world. But they keep promoting to general. Unbelievable. The stupid woman went on to write a whole lot of rubbish, which the Polish newspaper coupled up without asking a simple question. What is it exactly that Sasaki did that you killed his 7 children? What is it that Sasaki did that you locked him up? Somebody said, I thought you shouldn't get involved because you're a fool. If you say I thought you should, that means you're a fool and you're not IPOB. We can never support injustice. Impossible. It can never happen. The Biafra we are building, there will be no injustice. None whatsoever. That you may know. That you put together is with us. We don't believe in evil. So Elzakzaki should then die. And the day they announce his death, like Leah Shuaibu, you write RIP. Oh, may she rest well with Jesus in heaven. Jesus is on the right hand side of God. Leah Shuaibu will be on the left. You see how stupid you are? You see how hopeless you are? Can you imagine if Leah Shuaibu had died under Jonathan? What will happen? All the Elizabeth will be everywhere. Everybody will be complaining. Are you complaining to poor girls? But this girl is dead, killed. Rest in peace. You brought out her picture and you wrote RIP. Facebook that a white man invented. All we do is we consume. And sometimes we consume even ignorance. It's unbelievable. We must continue to do our work. I will give you the message wrong, the way it comes. Even those of them that say they are prophets, have they been able to predict anything before? What we tell you here, it will happen. And I've gone there, they're supposed to. You see, with your two eyes, you see it. The level of injustice is too much. I'll go on to also analyze what our deputy leader said to my phone. And I agree with him totally. He said, the real terrorists are in Asorok. The real terrorists are Miyetti Allah and their patron. And who is their patron? Buhari before he died. And the Supreme Court. Everybody who is the patron of Miyetti Allah should be arrested. And I have instructed our lawyers. We are going to write to USA, the State Department. We are going to list out all the patrons of Miyetti Allah. And that includes Jonathan. And we will be arguing very forcefully why they should be denied visa to America. Jonathan included. He's a patron of Miyetti Allah. Miyetti Allah is a terrorist group. Anybody who is their patron should also be regarded as a terrorist. They should. The Fulani headsmen that you have killing and rampaging through our towns and villages. And now, because you're not abandoning them bandits. Don't stigmatize the Fulani race. Including Koka, that man is the first in Sokoto. Koka. Roman Catholic Archbishop inside the desert in Sokoto. And what I think he's suffering from sunstroke in the brain. His one is not quite correct. Don't stigmatize them. But you stigmatize the whole of Biafra by prescribing IPOB. You are not stigmatizing every share in Nigeria. You banned a religion. It's simple. It's simple unheard of before. Some of you are clapping because you are black. You are evil. But we do hear every blessed day. The real terrorist marked by Miyetti Allah Cattle Breeders Association is the fourth most deadly terrorist group in the world. The fourth most deadly terror group in Fulani. The fourth most deadly terror group in the world. wants to study, what's it called again? Is it astrophysics? Astrophysics. Well, because of that, I got interested in the cosmos, in heavenly and stellar bodies. And I started reading about black holes and all the rest of it. And the funny thing is that these black holes, they're very massive, they're very powerful, they're very strong. They inhabit the center of every galaxy in the universe. And you know what they do? They consume, they don't give anything back in return. And they're black. This is how funny it is. Oh dear, the biggest object in the universe is black. It consumes everything and it gives nothing back in return. Just think about it. Google it and read about this program. That may help you understand the state of black people. Well, we are evil, honestly. A very wicked race. Arguably the most wicked race on earth is black. Very wicked. And you can say it is because of colonialism, Britain came and gave us the wickedness, yes. But we now modified it to suit our black nature. When you see something white, you say it's black. When it's black, you say it's white. And you studied at Oxford or Cambridge Law or Harvard or Princeton. This UG black. Unbelievable. Check him and never. And the sooner that happens, the better for everybody. I am beside myself with rage this evening. It is up to our people. We are not only escaping ignorance, poverty, disease, and deprivation in the zoo. Now you understand why I said to you that Biafra means something more to us. Biafra is here to bring light where once there was darkness. Or where there is darkness, because we're still fighting. We are the light, not just of Africa, but of the entire black race. During my tour of the U.S., I said I will fight this very battle to its logical conclusion. And the reason why things are the way they are is because most of those that lead you in the zoo, most of your judges, most of your police commissioners, most of those they promote in the judiciary and also in the military, their loyalty or their rise in power to Fulani patronage. And that is why impunity upon impunity is multiplying on a daily basis and nobody's doing anything about it. But we can do something about it. We can bring this impunity to an end. And we can do it collectively. I welcome the bold initiative from the leaders of the Middle Belt to disassociate themselves from the Fulani Core North. We welcome that. And I would like especially to commend the leader of the Middle Belt Forum for standing up to those blood-sucking demons from the north, and Abdullahi and co. If the Middle Belt is serious about wanting their freedom, then we will work with them to ensure that everybody is free. Only if they are serious. If they are serious, we'll work with them to freedom. I've said it before, our United Nations Security Council plus Israel to oversee its distribution to every part that once constituted Nigeria. To let them know that we want, I don't need oil and gas to survive. Our brain is there. The greatest natural resource you can think of as a human being is your brain, not what is inside the ground, so that they have that in mind. During my tour of the USA, I did speak about making our people in America contribute. journalists called us yesterday and were crying. One of them said a piece of land. My brother is in the U.S. A piece of land he bought has now been occupied by Fulani men. And everybody's looking up to IPOB to do something about it. And my response was very simple. So is IPOB looking up to those of them in America to support this very effort financially. They must support what we are also doing. And how are they going to do that? Our people in the Americas, if you have a brother, sister, uncle, aunt, no matter who they are, tell them that they are going to contribute $1 each. And this dollar they are going to contribute, but it took us time to come up with this very idea to fundraise for our people. The $1 I asked everybody to contribute in America every month is not actually going to come from your pocket. It is going to come from Uncle Sam, which is the Inland Revenue Service of America. Because it is tax deductible. What it means is that if you contribute one and you contribute $1 every month, which is $12 a year, it will go a long way. And it is also tax deductible, which means you will get it back from the tax man. When you are filing your tax returns, you will be able to get that dollar back. So anybody who refuses to contribute towards this very effort, you know that the person wants those at home to die. That's all. Now, the money we are asking you to contribute $1 a month is not your money, but we are asking you to use your name to donate it to Biafra Aid Foundation in America. Understand me very well. The Biafra Aid Foundation has been set up as what the Americans call a 501c3 account at the Chase Bank in America. 501c3 means that every dime and nickel you donate is subject to tax write-off at the end of the year. In other words, at the end of the year, American government will say, oh, my dear brother or sister, I can see you contributed within this past year $12 only, $12 every month to Biafra Aid Foundation. We are going to write it off. We will give you back the same $12 you contributed, and then we'll now assess your income tax or whatever tax that you pay in America. So what we're asking you to do is to, instead of campaigning for reparation for slavery, you can get $1 each and every Biafran or somebody from Middle Belt, or for that matter, that wants to be free, because only IPOB that can do it. Only IPOB can set you free. Nobody else can. I say it with every ounce of conviction. Only IPOB. You can contribute only $1 a month, and it is subject to tax write-off, which means when you're paying your tax, they will disregard. They will say, you contributed this, we're giving it back to you, now we assess your account. You're not losing anything. So if your uncle said, of course, some will come up with excuses. So that's why they will not be part of it. As they normally do, they'll find an excuse. You are going to contribute only $12 every year, and that $12 is subject to tax write-off. It's tax deductible. When it comes to this now, they claim they don't understand the grammar anymore. But ordinarily, you see them playing the grammar. It is tax deductible. In other words, we are taking this money from Mr. Trump and IRS in America, not from you. But we're only using your name to collect it. What you're doing, in essence, is taking $1 every month from America to give to Biafra. It's legal. Now you have no reason to give me and circulate it appropriately. I want it written down and circulated. It is PR67foundation@gmail.com. As I'm making this announcement, I want our dear sister Nuna to begin to circulate this information immediately. Those of them who are in the USA manning this very account to start doing so immediately. PR67 Foundation is BIA 67 Foundation, which is FOUNDATION, @gmail.com. They won't allow us to use anything else. So we're using Gmail for this. BR67foundation@gmail.com. It is called Quick Pay by Zeal. Or Zelle or whatever. It's ZELLE. Those of them in America will know it. You can also send interbank transfer using the routing, they call it route, but in the UK it's called route. The routing and account number is, the routing number or routing number in America is 515-216-791. I repeat, 515-216-791. That is the routing number, maybe it's some sort of source code for them. And then the account number itself is 070000326. I repeat, account number of this First Bank for PR Foundation is 070000326. And the routing number or routing number is 515-216-791. And once these details provided to our mothers in America, and IPOB women in America is exceptionally strong, very formidable indeed. And once these details to be made available to every community, every association, every group, every individual in America, so that we know those to deport from Biafran airport as soon as Biafra comes. You know, before I said we deport people, they don't contribute towards this very struggle. Now we may even have to detain some people before we deport them back to the USA. These are the details for you to use to support this very effort, because nobody is going to do it for us. No, we're not. Please don't contribute $5. No, don't. One only is enough. So that we can get this very job done and sweep away the jungle from the north. Again, it is what they call 501c3 account. Which means that every money you contribute, the taxman, Uncle Sam, as they say in America, will write it off. To El Zagzagi and the Shia, is dominating our minds and our thoughts, as we'll be talking about fundraising. But we need to raise funds to continue to do the work that we are doing. And it's yielding fruit, I assure you, quite a lot. And there are a few issues I also like to clear up live on air, especially the responsibility of our people. In Houston, Texas, people should please listen very carefully. This is for IPOB, principal officers or servants, as they call them in the USA. When I attended the town hall meeting in Houston, I made it very, very clear that those zones I created, those zones that I created, their coordinators are supreme. There is no greater Houston gathering of IPOB. None. I did not set up one, and there will not be any. No greater Houston. What we have is sugarland places, and they are called zones. The coordinators reign supreme there. All of you now answer to the state coordinator direct, to the Texas State IPOB coordinator. No greater Houston, no other collection of people. Our coordinators must do their jobs, and also our mobilization team must also do their work and must be given access to every state to make sure that more families are being fed on a daily basis. If IPOB will live or die based on our disciplined structure. Without structure, we are nothing. We don't want to be like the zoo, where if you don't like one aspect of the law, you start rebelling and deciding which judge to accept his or her ruling or not. In IPB, we are disciplined, and that is how Biafra is going to be. Everything ends insofar as the USA is concerned, as the office of the USA National Coordinator. It remains the number one citizen insofar as IPB is concerned. Because if anything goes wrong, we hold him responsible. The same way that are lacking in the discharge of their responsibilities. Thank you all very much for listening. And my tour of Australia, New Zealand, and Japan is coming up. And I hope there are people in the Far East and Australia that they're geared up for this because there's a lot of work to be done. I thank you all very much for listening. And I want you to put Zagzagi and Kasiki in your prayers. Put them in your prayers. Body wrongfully incarcerated is set free. This is Radio Biafra. And from me, from here, this is being the Church. People, great dear friends, wherever you are, we welcome you this early morning, mid-afternoon, evening, or night, wherever you are, and depending on where you are listening to us from, we have come to you this very Friday morning, that we may continue the propagation of this very gospel, but through a slightly different dimension, but hopefully also with some outcome. But to have a discussion, to fill your questions, to answer and address any queries that you may have, to put some of your minds at rest regarding how we are going to restore Biafra this very year and what we all need to do individually and collectively to ensure that that happens. My name is Nnamdi. I am the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra. The grace of Almighty Creator in heaven, a servant of the wonderful people of Biafra. I welcome you and I say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. I know morning broadcast is slightly unorthodox for our people, but we have decided to do so this very day in order to address some of the issues that you may have. All our FM in Biafra land is on full tilt. They are working very well. You can listen to us via satellite as well. You can listen to us via Garden Radio app. You can listen to us via Radio Biafra app. You can listen to us via Sweet Radio application as well, and also Simple Radio. Or you may choose to listen via my Facebook page. It's about 450,000 followers. I welcome you this very morning, and as I said, it is more or less an interactive session. I will not do much preaching this morning. Any preaching or teaching that I will do will have to emanate from the questions you are asking or about to ask. I will give you the number to call once again, and please note it down, and when somebody is speaking by calling at the same time, I will very seriously ask you not to do that. Once again, we welcome you. Once again, we ask you to please be part and parcel of what we are doing this morning. And without further ado, without going any further, I will, of course, refer and hand over all that we are doing to the Most High. And I will begin to answer your questions. It doesn't matter what it is. Here we are open. Here we learn. Here we teach. Here we lecture and here we tutor. Sometimes you teach your students and they feel they have a superior research. Here this morning, I also want you to educate me. If you have anything, any knowledge you feel or wish I should be aware of, please for you to impart that very knowledge. But we must pray. We must pray a psalm of David that Chukwuka Biama may abide with us. Part of this prayer I prayed on Wednesday, and I will continue to pray the same prayer today from Psalm 91. And I will pray in the language of heaven, if you don't mind. Onye okwu ya niile na-abịa na mmezu. Onye na-adịghị agharịpụ ụmụ ya. Onye si n'ebe ikpofu ahịhịa wee kpọlite nwa ogbenye. Chineke nna nke na-eme mma. Anyị na-arịọ gị ngọzi gị na ebere gị amara gị na ọmịiko gị n'isi ụmụ gị niile. Ebe ọ bụla ha na-anọrọ n'ụwa niile. Bụ agbụrụ gị bụ IPOB. Ụmụ gị bụ ndị Biafra ka anyị onwe anyị na-enyefe gị n'aka. N'isi ụtụtụ a ka amara gị na ebere gị ịhụnanya gị ọbụla ụwa niile na-echu anyị ụmụ Chineke n'ihi na anyị bụ ndị gọziri agọzi agbanyeghị ihe isi ike niile nke anyị onwe anyị na-agabiga na mgbede etu a site agbamahụhụ na atamahụhụ na ịkpa ahụ nke ndị iro na-ebe ụmụ gị nọ site na mmehie nke anyị onwe anyị mere anyị wee na-arịọ gị mgbaghara mmehie n'isi ụtụtụ a wee na-arịọ gị nna nke ebere dị ngọzi ka i wee nụrụ olu anyị ka afọ anyị wee metụta gị n'obi ka ute nke anyị na-atụwe gaa n'ihu nna nke igwe ka i wee zọpụta anyị n'aka ajọ ihe n'ihi na ndị bụ ndị pụta ka wee ma ahịa anyị ihu bụ ndị na-agbara ndị mkpụrụ anyị odibo bụ ndị kwenyere n'ihi akụrụba nke ụwa onye nwe m na Chineke nna wee si n'eziokwu bụ okwu asị anyị wee na-arịọ gị gị onwe gị bụ onye bi n'ime eluigwe gị onwe gị bụ onye nwe ndụ anyị n'ihi ịkwụwa anyị nkwa na o nweghị ihe ọjọọ ọbụla bụ nke ga-adakwasị anyị na mkpagbu niile a ga-emetụta anyị n'ahụ n'ihi na inyewo ndị mmụọ ozi gị iwu ka ha wee chebe anyị ka ha wee chebe IPOB nna nke ebere dị ngọzi anyị wee na-asị na ọgbanụgbanụ ka anyị bụ onye ọbụla ibu n'iru gị nna nke igwe kama ọ bụ ịma mma gị na ebere gị nchekwa gị ka anyị na-achọ n'ụbọchị nke taa wee na-asị gị onye ime eluigwe ka i wee bịa ka i wee nye anyị ka i wee nye anyị amamihe n'elu amamihe ka i wee nye anyị ezi nghọta n'elu ezi nghọta ka i wee nye anyị mmekọrịta nwanne na nwanne ịdị n'otu ọganihu ịhụnanya mmeso ọma gị debubere ngọzi ka ọ ga-abụ n'ibete m azụ na ị ga-enye anyị Biafra n'ime afọ a ụwa niile ga-asụ ude n'ihi ya ha ga-atụ na mmadụ n'otu aka Chineke nna nke igwe kama anyị onwe anyị bụ ụmụ gị ga-enwe ezi aṅụrị n'ime gị anyị ga-enwe ezi nghọta n'usoro nchọta onwe gị bụ Chineke nna nke igwe ka anyị wee gbasoo ịhụ na alaeze ịbịara n'elu ụwa ịhụ na ịhụnanya gị sachiri ihe niile bụ jede onye ikere ka wee na-agọ gị na nke ebere chụrụ gị wee chala ebe anyị nọ ka i wee duo anyị n'ụzọ anyị nke ezi omume gị ka i wee were aka nri nke ezi omume ga-wee kwagide anyị wee bulie anyị elu ka ụwa niile wee bụ n'ezie n'ezie na ọgba anyị nwa anyị bụ ndị tụrụ iko wee tee mmanụ n'isi ka anyị wee nye aka nsọpụrụ na nsọpụrụ na ịja mma site n'ebighị ma ruo n'ebighị ise 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 mma mmadụ gị Chineke. We must proceed this very morning having handed over all that we are unto the loving embrace of the Most High. Our lines are going to be opened right now, and I will ask you, of course, to call us via Skype alone, if you can, and to participate in what we're about to do. The number to send your questions to, or the number to call, I was in the USA when I was there, +1 512 955 2807. I repeat, +1, which is the code for USA, 512 955 2807. I am waiting for Mazi to try and get me the details of the Skype. Not in details, because of the time differential between Australia. And Australia do not have the same time zone as we do in Biafra land. Very, very important. We are waiting, and as soon as it does it, I will be able to bring that to you. I want your questions this morning, no matter how hard it is. Somebody is already calling. Let us see who is on the line. The caller on the phone, can you hear me? The caller on the phone, can you hear me?
Good morning.
Good morning to you. What is your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Obi Emmanuel Chibike. I'm calling from the state of Israel.
From Israel, please go ahead. The whole world is listening. If you have any questions, just interact. I promise I will answer every question today. Please go ahead.
Yes, my leader, I have 2 questions to ask. As I said already, my name is Obi Emmanuel Chibike. I'm an Igbo man. But my leader, I have a fear about the concern of the Igbo man's domination. In fact, the fear of Igbo man's domination is fearing me itself. That is, their fear is fearing me. And recently, you made this fear more to me when you say that the Biafra, when restored, that we will adopt the UAE strategy or style of doing business. That if a Biafran, an Igbo Biafran or any other region wants to open a business in another region, that he has to register the business with the name of an indigenous of that region. That is a kind of combined business.
Yes.
Then my question is it not a limitation or like a marginalization to the people that like business like an Igbo man like me? That is my first question. The second one is, my leader, I want you to help me find out whether this is true. I heard that the Igbo people once inhabited the land that is present years ago. This is my 2 questions, my leader. Thank you very much.
Thank you, and I'll ask you to stay on the line. Don't go away. Stay on the line where you are, because I need to answer your question. First of all, you are where again? You're in Israel.
I mean, Elat, Israel.
You're in Elat, Israel. Now, I want you to also, I want you to answer the question you have asked. I think sometimes that's the best way to learn. I want to encourage you to answer the same question you have asked. Now,
okay.
Are you competent with the UAE business model of making sure that an indigene is part and parcel of the business before it can function properly in UAE? Are you aware of that? Are you competent with it?
No, I'm not. I heard it first from you.
Okay. How it works is that, let's say you are an able man and you want to do business in a land.
Yeah.
You have to get an HR person to partner you in that very business. It is the same system that they run in the UAE. And if I may ask you, do you think that UAE is successful? Economic-wise, do you think that's successful?
Very successful. Yes, sir.
You said very successful. Do you also agree with me that it is good to copying it, because we have a lot of enemies all over the place. And those enemies are going to go to our own brothers and sisters, our cousins, in the coastal region of Biafra and say to them, an Igbo man will dominate you. And some of them are bound to listen. It is human nature. That is the way some of us are. And in order to stop that, what we are trying to do is to preempt. We want to preempt problems before they emerge. We want to be able to go to the constitution of Biafra
to tackle every known problem. Perhaps our legislature or our parliament in time to come will be able to deal with future problems. But for now, we understand what the foundational problems, so to speak, are, and we wish to address them. And that is exactly what we are going to do. Regarding, is that very clear? Do you understand that? Have I made any sense to you? Or you're still not clear? Is it very clear? Very good. Now, what we intend to do is this. We are going to run a business model that will guarantee every indigenous person will also work in the land of Biafra. So we want to remove every vestige, every accusation, every connotation. We want to remove any and everything that will give the impression that anybody from anywhere is going to dominate anybody. That is not going to happen. Not now, not tomorrow, not ever. That's number one. And about indigenous people that inhabit the present area of our people. As I said before, there were three ways. The first way, the Igbo people, the ancient, the Bijango people, the Guinea people, those that they call Guinea people, very old. Those that started the process of palm oil before any other person came into it. They inhabited our land. And the first migration came from Egypt, settled at the confluence of Omambala River. That is where you have the house of Eri, all the way to Owerri. And then after the Assyrians invaded Samaria, northern kingdom through Egypt, Sudan, Ethiopia, Central African Republic, Northern Cameroon, and into the land of Biafra. And we have done extensive research, which I have posted on my page as well. The reason why you have the kingdom of Biafra that could have come from any white man or from anybody else, but it is a kingdom recognized and noted on historical books and also on maps to boot. Now, there were the jungle people where we are, and the ancients, the Igbo people. So as these new migrants started to settle towards the sea, the further the ancient, the further the owner, I wouldn't call them owners of the land, I will call them the further the indigenous populations went. So that was what happened. If you said Arachupu, perhaps you would have been right. If you said Ohafia, perhaps you would have been right. Because the Ohafia people that you see today, they came from Ahaba. They are themselves from where you call Asaba today. And when they were migrating, why an Ohafia person always regard an Ibeku man as his brother and can never fight him or do anything that would draw blood from him. Even if you listen to the war bands, predominantly from Ohafia, you will hear them when they're singing that them and the Ibeku people are one because the Ibeku housed them before they went to where they were. And of course, when they went to Ohafia, there were Ekoi people who were there, and they were moved in a little bit to accommodate Ohafia people. That is the history of our people. But as far as our people is concerned, our people came as part of the second wave that came, the house of Manasseh and house of Ephraim. From the red part of Israel in the north, in Samaria, where incidentally I stay anytime I'm in Israel. And they came, which is Imo and Abia more or less, and built the temple to the Most High in our people. That's the way it is. That is the priestly clan that we have, the same way you have the house of Levites. That is why anywhere you go to in Igbo land and you have people answering Umuchupu, if you go back in history, you see that a lot of people get confused about this. I read over some of us having a debate about this very issue. Some said that, how can you say we are from... I'm saying all the things because of the question you asked. How can you say that we are from Israel? Some say, no, we are not Jews, we can never be. We are not saying that everybody is. But that is something that will be posted this very morning on my page in a short while. Please can The person who is responsible put it on my page, please. It is about the flag that the British had during colonialism. The flag of the Governor General of Nigeria, if you read up on it, is very simple and very clear. There you will see the Star of David, gotten from Umwezi, from Aguilera to be precise. That was why the British put it there on the flag. The same Star of David that you see on the flag of Israel where you are. So that is our history, that is who we are. I don't want people to get confused. You can decide or claim to be an original Igbo, the agent. Remember that we are mixed marriages, intermarriages, and diffusion of cultures. You can say you are descended directly from the house of God, via Umweri, via Ora-Eri, via from the Eri part. And then you have the house of Manasseh and Ephraim, going all the way to Asa. You heard about the name Asa as well. That I'm going to teach later on. Asa in Asia state. Asa also was part of the migration that came down. The same way you have Asa today in Asia state, part of the migration from the land of Israel. So that's how we are. We are three people in one. Thank you very much for calling. Thank you. Thank you very, very much. Thank you. Your name and where you're calling from, please.
Hello, sir. My name is Mike. I'm calling from Russia. The headmaster of the Indigenous people of Biafra. Sir, I want to recommend something for Biafra when Biafra comes. We need to create two types of prison in Biafra land. One for people who commit crimes and one for people who cannot reason properly. Because we have been
in Biafra land, sorry, hold on. You're coming from Russia, and you're recommending in Biafra land we are going to have two prisons. One for those who have committed crime, and one for those who cannot reason properly.
Yes, sir. I came here to Russia when I was like a young boy, like 19. I've been here and I see the way normal people reason in a country. I see the way a society is being created. I see the way people decide to develop their own land and with pleasure and with happiness. And I wonder why can't our people our leaders, our so-called people, we have only one place to go home. Why can't they work hard to make our place? Well, don't they travel? Don't they see these things outside in this part of the world? Why can't they decide to make our place as beautiful like this? I've been here for a couple of times and I'm like, we are not thinking properly. And if Biafra comes, we need to make a prison for people to go who cannot reason properly. When you cannot reason properly, you'll be charged to court and taken there. So that you'll be able to work on your brain. Because we need normal and sensible people.
We are not going to lock anybody up. That is exactly what we are trying to do now, to get everybody's consciousness to be at a particular level. Not necessarily, I would say, to agree with what each other is saying, but to be able to interrogate what you hear, to be able to question what you hear, to be able to hold people to account. Those are some of the civic education we are carrying out, or that we are conducting on Radio Biafra. We want to get our people to reason properly, because if we cannot reason properly, there is no way we can sustain to being civilized. These are the things we ought to understand. And I do thank you very much for calling. There will be prison for criminals, but there will be no prison for those who cannot reason properly. We will continue to treat them until the end. Go ahead.
And sir, finally, I want to make a last recommendation. Sir, I have been into some part of intelligence gathering, and I think in Biafra land we have to train young Biafrans to be able to have a skill of those people who can be able to penetrate into them, who knows how to speak their language, who knows everything about them, because we don't need them to come to us. We don't need them to step their leg in. I have been in Russia here and
Now, listen, what we're going to do is, hold on, I understand because of where you are conditioned by your environment, so you are highly conscious. You are highly aware of what is happening around you. What we are now going to do in Biafra land is to build our systems, our governance and our structures, to be able to impact that in Russia and in every other civilized nation around the world. So shall it be in the land of Biafra. And I thank you very much for calling. I thank you very, very much for calling. We have another caller on the phone. Your name and where you're calling from, please. No, they're no longer there. The caller on the phone, can you hear me? Yes, please, your name and where you're calling from.
Yeah, this is Ferdinand. I'm calling from Philippines.
From the Philippines. Please go ahead.
I'm calling from Philippines.
Yes, go ahead.
That is what I want to know. To know. Is everyone going to come back home for the referendum, or is there any way people from outside can vote?
No, referendum will be for those who are at home. I am not sure if they would allow postal voting. That may be an option, and we are seriously going to canvass for that. But normally, referendum will be done, or Brexit will be done for those who are at home. Only for those who are at home. That's my understanding.
That's what I want to know.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for calling. We have the caller on the phone. I won't ask you again for the final time your name and where you're calling from.
My name is Uche Udeze. I am calling from Republic of Ireland.
Republic of Ireland. We are being listened to all over the world. The whole world. Philippines, Russia, Israel, everywhere. Please go ahead. And now, Ireland. Go ahead, please.
Mazi, good morning. May God bless you. May Chukwokikabiyama keep you till Biafra come. Mazi Biko, the only question I want to ask you this morning is, there has been a lot of problem in IPOB families, and people are being sent away from IPOB because of one reason or the other. I am asking this question, and a lot of people do not want to join IPOB because of protocol, hierarchy, how people are being treated in IPOB. How do we deal with this situation? How are we going to correct this if Biafra comes? Because it is going to still be the same way Nigeria is being done, that people are bringing into IPOB family. IPOB family is supposed to be one family, one love. If anybody does anything wrong, people have seen cackles, have seen shekels in IPOB, and people are using it to intimidate other people, telling people that they will throw them out. And as far as I remember, we are all Biafrans. We are all IPOB. IPOB is indigenous people of Biafra. I am born in Anambra State. My 5th generation is from Igbo land, which originally entitles me to be a Biafran. So why would somebody intimidate me because of hierarchy? Another thing I want to say is, please do something. Please do something, because they are chasing people away. If they chase people away, who is going to achieve Biafra? I have 4 teenage boys in my house. One is going to college this year. My promise is that he is going to go to college and tell them about Biafra, because Ireland is a major contributor to Biafra. We must speak about Biafra in our college. If we send these people away, when there is need, who will go home to do these things? I have 4 teenage boys. I am ready to bring out these 4 teenage boys to be given the opportunity to do this. We cannot be sent away intimidated because maybe we are not in the group or in the gang or in whatever. Only please, I'm asking you this morning, how are you going to curtail this? How are you going to work to sensitize people to start doing things right? To stop gossiping about other people, sending people away from IPOB, lying against people for what they have not done, just because they want to get them out of the picture. And these are people who are hungry, who want to do everything possible to make sure that Biafra is actualized. A big space that we can venture. But if we keep doing these things, how do we venture? I know the chairman of Irish Red Cross. I work as a volunteer with Irish Red Cross from 2011 till this minute. I am a life member with them. They are open to us. They are ever ready to accept us. But we are not ready to do that. Instead, we are fighting ourselves. Only please, I want you to comment on this point.
Thank you very much. Thank you very, very much. Are you part of the family as you speak? Are you part of the IPOB family in Ireland where you are?
Honestly, I used to be part of the family in Ireland, but there was big problem. There was lie. You know, as a woman, the only thing that you'll be chased away with Ashawo, she's sleeping with this person's husband, she's sleeping. And once you hear that, the next thing you do is you pick up your slippers and run.
Of course. I want to say this to you, and of course to the hearing of all our principal officers all over the whole world. We would not tolerate, because any behavior or conduct we exhibit right now, in all likelihood we will take that into I have no friends and I have no enemies. That is why I speak truth to anybody that I come across. I do not gossip. I do not chat behind anybody's back. If I have anything against you, I will tell you to your face. Now, this is the type of behavior I would like all our principal officers to inculcate, and I'm sure that our DOS and all frontline officers, those that I come into contact with, they do not and will not encourage the building of cabal or the destruction of anybody's image. And if you have suffered that, then it is sad and regrettable. I will ask Isaiah Yoba and all those who are in Ireland and our leadership to find out what went wrong. I have taken down your number, and we are going to get back to you. I will get back to you personally to explain to you the rationale behind whatever you may have encountered, and also to reassure you that going forward, such nonsense will no longer be obtainable in IPOB. Nobody will intimidate anybody. I want you to intimidate people with what you have accomplished. I want you to tell people what they can do for Biafra, not to drive anybody away because you think somebody is more intelligent than you, and if they come, they're going to overshadow you. I want somebody who's more intelligent than me to actually come out and talk about this brain slacking. So what we need to do is this. We must remember that nobody is driving anybody away. We are all indigenous people of Biafra. The only thing that will excuse you from any Biafran gathering is if you are working for the enemy. If you're a saboteur, if you have come to spoil what you're doing. But as long as you have good intentions, I can sit down with you and debate from now till the kingdom come. I am never ever going to hate you for holding a contrary view to that which I hold. I am never ever going to despise you if I feel or think that you are more articulate than I am. In fact, I will admire you. Because we must look at other people, the way people do things in the Western world. When somebody is very good, when my team, Liverpool, of course, I support Rangers. Rangers is number one, Liverpool is number two. Rangers of Enugu, I mean. When Liverpool just won the league yesterday, but I'm sure Liverpool will be going out looking for people who are better players, or should I say good players, to make them even better come the next season. So that is why anytime I encounter any Biafran who understands what we are doing, is very intelligent, I want them to be part of the leadership. And that is not going to change. Because I will come back to you before next week, before 7 days runs out, to be honest with you, to let you understand precisely what transpired and to reassure you that it won't happen again. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
God bless you.
Thank you. Our lines are open. If you call us, we'll be able to take your call. Of course, a lot of people are calling, and I pray that this line will not be jammed today, because normally the calls are so numerous. That somebody sends a question. Nedum sent a question on via WhatsApp. His question is the way Fulanis are behaving and their hatred for Biafra. This is from Nedum. Nedum, it is likely that they may detonate chemical or nuclear weapons in Biafra land once Biafra is declared by United Nations, or if Biafra marches against Nigeria. As we say, from my observation, instead of Fulani to allow Biafra to go, they'll prefer for everybody to die. My question is, what protective mechanisms or precautionary measures are we taking to protect ourselves? We are taking precaution. We are doing all we can to protect our people, and that is the best we can do for now. Because honestly speaking, we cannot cater for every eventuality. We have done what we can. We know that eventually we are going to prevail. And that is what we are hoping and counting on. We have a caller on the line. Can you hear me? For the last time, the caller on the line, can you hear me? No. The line, can you hear me?
Yeah, hello?
Your name and where you're calling from? Good morning to you. Good morning to you. I want to have your name and where you're calling from.
My name is...
Your name is what? Oh, dear me, the calls are just way too numerous. Too much, way too much. Just where you're calling from, this is amazing stuff. Even the number of calls coming in would not allow me to pick the call. Unbelievable. The caller on the line, can you hear me?
Good morning, my friend.
Good morning, and where are you calling from? Your name, please?
I'm calling from my on the honor.
You're calling from where?
My name is on the honor. I'm calling from Medugri.
From Medugri. Please go ahead. Call your name from Medugri. Go ahead.
Yes, I hear you, my leader.
I will say for the final time, yes, go ahead. The caller on the phone, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Please, your name and where you're calling from?
My name is Faith Ogala, freedom fighter.
Yes, Faith, where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Italy, Genova.
From
From
Genova in Italy. Thank you very much. You're welcome to the program. Please go ahead.
Thank you, sir. Mazi, I don't have any question. I just want to say, may Chukwukika Abiyama bless you. And that is, I'm so overwhelmed this morning to hear from you. Mazi, may Chukwukika Abiyama bless you. Thank you for everything you have been doing for us. Thank you so much. I know 100% that I am Biafra. Biafra, Agbo Biafra. My mother, I grew up to see my mother wearing 2 pieces of wrapper.
Yes.
I grew up to see all our women, all our mothers in the neighboring hood carrying 2 wrappers. Even my auntie till tomorrow she carries 2 wrappers. So thank you, my DK. Thank you. I can hear your voice.
Thank you very, very much. And may Chukwukika Abiyama bless you too. She's an Igbo woman from Agbo. They have spent billions trying to convince them, even forcibly converting some of them as we speak to Islam. That is where Loretta Onoche comes from, the supplier of prostitutes to Atorok. That was why they engaged her. She's an expert human trafficker, Loretta Onoche. She is from Anyama, which is the Igbo-speaking, the Igbos who are in. But I'm happy and I'm glad that we are now coming back to our senses. We now understand who we are. And Elohim is in charge in heaven. And the truth is going very far, isn't it? One thing that God gave us, the way our mothers dress, solved all that problem. Ever since, have you heard them talking rubbish? Of course, there are some people who claim that they are from a darkened delta. Inside darkness itself, that means double darkness. Double darkness. But we are not going to have any regard for them. We are marching on relentlessly. Our lines keep crashing is untrue. Absolutely untrue. Because there are many people who are calling us. Many of them are calling. So many people are calling us. Please, that is why our lines keep crashing. Ben Okweng lives in Aba. I want to ask our governor, what are we going to do when Biafra is restored? There will be citizens of Biafra, those of them who are good. If any of them committed any crime worthy of investigation and, of course, prosecution, that will be their portion. Because Biafra will embrace anybody that is not an vendetta, about which hunt. Everybody will participate and get out and be given the opportunity to contribute to this very exciting new nation of ours. We are not excluding anybody. We don't intend to exclude anybody. Anybody who wants to be a part of Biafra will be a part of Biafra. Our lines are so clogged up that even the phones are crashing. It's unbelievable. Even the phone, I'm using an iPhone, it has refused to function. We have a caller on the other line. Please, your name and where you're calling from.
Good morning.
Good morning to you, please. Your name and where you are calling from.
My name is Mr. Wiles Jonathan. I'm calling from Cape Town, South Africa.
From Cape Town, South Africa, only on Radio Biafra. The whole world is listening. Please go ahead.
I'm a first-time caller, and I want to say thank you very much. To be honest, I've been following you up online right from when you were in London before you came to Nigeria officially to declare your agitation, and even at the point in time when they instructed the soldiers to come to your house in Abia State, that they came there to shoot. But one thing I want to say, you've been doing a very good job, and it's only God in heaven that will strengthen you, because at this point in time, I am glad that when they came to your house to shoot, that you managed to make your way, because I must tell you the truth, the government, the Fulani, they want to kill themselves, not you, because they can never kill you. You are a God sent. They can never kill you. You say that they will die at the end of the day. One thing I want to say is whatever we need to do, because the country needs to break up, because there is no system that is working. Imagine even here in Cape Town, as a Nigeria, if you're pregnant and you go to the hospital and unfortunately the doctor recommends that you have to go through a CMS, you understand, for delivery.
Yes.
I'm telling you, my brother, that it will be done for free of charge. Things that are not done at home. Imagine if a woman in labor goes to the hospital and at a point in time, the doctor prescribed that she has to go CMS. We're talking about 500,000. We're talking about 300,000. We're talking about huge amounts of money. And the person does not have it. And Nigerian doctors are so wicked that if you don't have the money, they will have to look at the person to die out of labor. You see, we have much. You see, we're traveling abroad. We're going out diaspora. It is not like we have the intention to go there. If things are working at home, what will make someone go there? If things like what is working, if there's electricity. I was back home last year. I thought things have changed. I didn't know that things have come from back to us. The whole roads that I know that was initially, a bit better has come from better to worse. Not even normally things go from better and better to the best. But things are not working. And the only way we can do this is to break up. If there's any petition, what I'm trying to say, you should drop the file on your page so that we could be able to sign it, because there are some agitation people that are agitating something, people like my good general Olayomi Koike media, and they drop their link to sign, and I think I've been contributing. All I want is a referendum, a breakup in that country, because from what I see that nothing will work, because the fact that nothing has worked for the past 6 years, nothing has been deceiving to tell us when they come, they say, okay, we'll give you light, we'll give you electricity, we'll give you job, we'll give you this, we'll give you that. But at the end of the day, when they come, they forget about all their promises. That is not his word. And finally, I want to bless to bless you and your family, to protect you, and the Lord will strengthen you onto this journey, and we will get it by the special grace of God.
He said, thank you very much for calling. They are deceiving people, they are lying to people because we allowed them to get away with murder. When they tell you about love and for God to love you, the same people that gave you the Bible did not tell you that there were revolutions across Europe, even in America before they built the type of society that they have today. That's what they never teach you that. Once you allow people who are corrupt to get away with corruption, corruption can only multiply. That is why we do things the way we do it. Anywhere we see any injustice or something is going wrong, we get it in the bud. You may go away and create 10,000 Facebook accounts with talking about it. That is your business. Because we want Biafra to be pure and then treatment for at least emergency cases, because we will have what is called universal insurance. Everybody will pay into it so that when you're sick, you go to an area hospital and we know what to do. Everybody knows that we know what to do. It is that we are not being given the opportunity to be able to showcase what we can do. I had a caller waiting on the other line. Your name and where you're calling from, please, if you may. Good morning to you. Let me see that. Yes, please, your name and where you're calling from.
Thank you very much, Mazi. My name is Chidera. I'm calling from South Africa. For the humility in the garage, because a leader like you, just this early morning, then I get a phone and I take a mother. I live in Modin Cow, Mazi, I want 3 questions to you, sir. Number one, it is a because I want my bro. We are not aware, we have never had the meaning of the name called Nigeria. The other thing I have taught us that the meaning which you have taught us that the meaning is liberal. Now we have followed it and understand it even in the...
It's actually nigga, not even negro. Nigga.
Okay, nigga. And we have seen black people fighting all over that particular, when they call that name.
Yes.
So my question to you, sir, this morning, sir, how did Nigeria, that illegal, come up with the giant of Africa? That is number one. How did they come up with that name, giant? Because I don't know anything giant about it. Is it by looting or by wickedness or by what? How did they come up with that particular name, giant? As they have taught us, we really want to know how did they come up with that name. That's my number one question, sir. Number two question to you, sir. That's the one that is bothering me so much. I really want you to assist me in this particular one. BTV. Sir, I'm in one part of the media team, nation of the media, and I must be honest with you. I know my colleagues may say, why did I come up open? But we are stretched not by it seems like there are certain things bothering us and we don't have solution. And I have to ask you, sir, how do we make BTV viable? Because even if it's a YouTube,
don't go too far. Don't go too far. Okay. Don't go too far. We are doing something. You're in South Africa, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And don't worry. We'll just wait and see. Just watch and see what's going to happen to BTV.
Okay, sir.
BTV will be the most popular television station in the whole of Africa.
Amen.
So don't worry about that. We know what we are doing. We know what you say. The thing about this generation is that we understand where our fathers made their mistakes. They were forced into making some mistakes with this because they never prepared. Now we have time to prepare. And we are going to do it slightly differently and we'll see the results. BTV will be the most watched television station in the world, as you say, in Biafra land, or in Nigeria, or in West Africa, but the whole of Africa. BTV will be number one very soon. And Radio Biafra is all over the world right now.
Yes.
Go ahead, your thought. I'll answer the second one. I will answer the first one. I'll answer the third one, please.
We are to the elders. Now you are aware that we don't have an elder. So I hope you have the right number to give whoever that will call. Because if that number goes to Nayangwood, you know the answer. So I hope you know the particular, and whoever that will call that number know. Because when you use that word, the elder, some people will be doing press up thinking they are elder. You know we don't have elder. I hope that you are one of them. If we say elder, you are the only elder we know. Few that you know is our elder. If you don't know them as elder, we don't know them too. So that is my question, sir.
Thank you very much. And it will not happen. I know the numbers that we were asking in America. We gave them the telephone numbers of men of honor and integrity, those who will not sell us out. We cannot go to Ohanese or go to Mondo after killing us. Then you want us to go to him. What is he going to do for us? Not going to do anything for us. And coming to your first question, the only way that Nigeria became the giant of Africa was because of the oil and gas coming from Biafra land. And they wanted to give us the impression that this is the most populous black nation in the world because they were hiding something. The British were hiding something. They were using Nigeria darkness, the name of darkness, to cover light, which is Biafra. It's just a game that they're playing. Because I've said this for nearly 10 years now. They believe, some people, those in the occultic realm, they believe that the coming of Biafra will signify the end of the world, as we know it. So they had to bring that name nigger to give it to an area encompassing also Biafran people, so that they are thinking that darkness will suppress the light. That is why in a place where you have Biafra, which is light, you have the name nigger over it. And I think the giant of Africa, everybody knows it's useless. Go and look at the list of the fastest growing economies in Africa. They didn't even make the 11th position. That is how useless they are. But as forces of darkness are working over time, so also is Satan himself. They are working over time to blind our people to the truth and to the reality. Nigeria is not a giant, has never been a giant, and will never be a giant. It is a complete and absolute failure. Thank you very much for calling. They have no idea who we are. And we are going to shock them. We are going to shock them. We are live. You can now drop the line, please. You may drop the line if you may. You may drop the line if you may. Thank you very much for calling. Please. The document that iPhone is not that strong, or what? Every little thing will just crash. Just multiple calls coming in and it crashes. That is dreadful. Absolutely dreadful. All fancy. Expensive and fancy for no reason. Unbelievable. I'm disappointed in iPhone. Disappointed on the calling from Easy Man. Can you hear me? Turn your system down. Turn your system down. You call us back. I have no time to wait. Turn your system down. If you want to call us, I have a caller on the phone. Can you hear me? The caller on the phone. Can you hear me? The call has failed. The call has failed. Honestly speaking, I am disappointed in iPhone. Very disappointed. The caller on the phone, can you hear me?
I can hear you, sir.
Yes, your name and where you're calling from.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
My name is Onajite Higo.
And where are you calling from?
Yeah. I'm calling from Germany.
And where are you from?
Can you hear me, sir?
I can hear you. Where are you from back home? I know you're coming from Germany, but where do you come from? Your village.
Okay, I am Urobo, partly Urobo and partly is just Biafra.
Wonderful. Please go ahead. The world is listening. Go ahead.
Mazi, I actually want to appreciate what you have been doing for us. And I want to appreciate the leaders of our people. That is the leader of IPOB leadership. I want to appreciate them also for bringing us together and for making every one of us, especially we from the coastal part, for which we realize who we are, for which we realize our background, for which we realize our identity. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very, very much, and thank you for calling. This is the type of calls I want to thank. We are all Biafran people. The caller on the phone, can you hear me? Your name and where you're calling from, if you may, please.
I'm calling from, my name is Okechukwu Nnalum. I'm calling from Indonesia to hear your voice and also speaking directly to you today for being there for us and making us to know who we are, also to open our eyes and to make the whole world to know what we are passing through over there in Nigeria.
When you in Indonesia, is that correct? Were you part of those that brought that useless the zoo embassy down yesterday? Because I commended them.
Well, we're trying to join up on that movement, but in order to join that movement because we are not permitted to do so. But everything that happened there, I know all about it.
Very good, very, very good, because I commended those of them that went out there to do this marvelous work. Marvelous work. Because as I speak, the zoo is collapsing. They are the laughing stock of the whole world. They are. Thank you very much for calling. Thank you for calling.
Yeah.
Thank you very, very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Are we going, of course, the caller on the phone, I've taken your call. Your name and where you're calling from.
Hello.
What is your name and where are you calling from?
Yeah, my name is Mazi Nnamdi. I'm calling from Libya.
From Libya. Please go ahead, the world is listening. Go ahead.
I'm the National Financial Secretary in Libya.
I hope you are not involved in the trafficking of our women, as some idiots who are in Turkey are doing.
God forbid, Mazi, God forbid.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for what you have been doing, but please allow me to call you this name. I want to, like I do told some of my friends, that you are a God sent. You are Saint Mazi Nnamdi.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Please go ahead.
So, sir, please, I really thank you, and I really thank God for God giving us somebody like you. So please, my contribution here is what is happening in the zoo.
We are doing.
Now.
No. Wait. I understand what you are passing through. You will speak in a minute. What we are doing, we are not going to make public, because once we make it public, there are desperate people. There are those who were fathered by Fulani people during the war. There are those who don't, there is paternity test now all over the place. That's the new craze, paternity test. If we conduct the DNA test in our land, you will find out that 100% of every saboteur and those that will carry our information to the enemy, they were fathers. So that's what it is. Once we make it public what we are going to do, believe you me, some people will go out and start seeking to make money of it. If people like Ohanese, who seemingly are well-fed people, so they claim, can be traitors and saboteurs, how much, less, I should say, about people who are hungry. So we have to be very, very careful. Please go ahead and do what you were saying.
Okay, sir. So, please, I believe that Biafra is worth dying for. So, because wherever, here and there, so let me speak it in Igbo language, because Oyibo na make up. Ihe a ndị ugwu na-achọ, let me not call ndị ugwu, ihe a ndị Fulani na-achọ, I believe very soon na ha ga-afụkwana ya. And anyị nwere men here dị ready anytime, any day, because ha na-ajụ m na-asị m na ụmụnne anyị a na-egbu kedu ihe na nwere ike ịfọm something like let's assume volunteers ebe a gawa ugoro na steeti start ma ọ bụ echi. That men here, when so many men who will be like that, let me not speak mind of every other person, let me speak my mind. Anytime, any day, also here, I'm ready to die for Biafra. I'm ready, because even if the men are Biafra man, at times I don't like watching things. They got on a platform, because once I'm watching this, I will be sharing tears. The other day, I'm watching this woman, somebody's sister, our sister, for God's sake. So when the people are Biafra is worth dying for.
Just wait where you are. Wait where you are for a minute. Stay where you are. Stay on the line for a minute, because it is very, very important that we get to the bottom of this. Now, there are people who are saying, work with the governors. In which part of the world will you have elders and one of their daughters were butchered, her body parts strewn all over the place, yet they have not said anything? Yet there is no single word of condemnation of what the Fulanis have done. Instead, they are giving them land. Instead, they are selling land to them to continue killing the raping of our own mothers, defiling our land, defiling our mothers. I don't understand it. I have never seen such useless people ever in my life. And these are the people that you want the noble IPOB to work with. People that when their own daughters are being raped and butchered, out of cowardice, they say nothing. And if you rise up to do something, they will connive with the enemy to kill you. What sort of men are these I act? I don't sleep at night. I keep wondering and where did God get these people from and put them in our land? From where did the life of only water come from? That your own daughter is being killed, not just raped and killed, but our body dismembered. They come up for life, they move to you, and you claim you are an elder. Oh my God in heaven, these people don't deserve to live, I'm telling you. They don't deserve to live.
Honestly, my friend, we have no elders in Neighborland. I have to tell you the truth. Honestly, we have no elders. But the only love they have that we are just waiting for you to do. You're only going to last us for 1 week or 2 weeks. We're going to die. I'm going to see my for 2 weeks. I'm going to go to London. At least we start from our elders. If you know, all nobody in the family, can you be nobody in the elders? I'm trying to Biafra land because my land worth dying for. I'm not happy anymore.
It's very, very sad. Very, very sad indeed. Very, very sad indeed. Extremely sad. Extremely sad. There are people who are calling and calling. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for calling. Thank you very, very much. Thank you very much. There are some people, if the lines permit, there are some people I'm going to have to call myself. Let me take this call. The caller on the phone, can you hear me? The world is listening. People that I may have to call, there are some people that I may have to call, but I'm so disappointed with iPhone. Honestly, it's just rubbish. iPhone is just name. Pure rubbish, I'm telling you. Pure nonsense. It doesn't do the work it's supposed to do. It's all hype and name. It doesn't do nothing. Absolutely nothing. Please, I want to be able to return certain calls. Please do bear with me. I want to be able to return unbelievable. What is this? Oh, the amount of calls coming in is just way too much. Way too much. The call on the phone, can you hear me? For the last time, the caller on the phone, can you hear me?
Hello?
Yes, your name and where you're calling from. I can hear you. Your name and where you're calling from, please. Can you hear me? No. She cannot hear me. Unfortunately, she is not able to hear me. She's not able to hear me. And the calls are so the calls are just flooding in. And it's not even the system, the iPhone itself can't even cope. The call on the phone, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. My name is Umar from Miracle, calling from India.
Umar from Miracle from India. Please walk away from your system. Walk away from your system, please, and speak to us.
My name is Umar from Miracle. I'm calling from India.
Let's go ahead, please.
Yeah, I can hear you.
No, he is listening via his system, and that is very sad. No. The caller on the phone, your name and where you're calling from, please. No. They are still waiting to hear their own voice. Unbelievable. The caller on the phone, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
What is your name and where are you calling from? Stop waiting to listen from your system.
Okay, I'm calling from India. My name is Umar from Miracle.
Yes, go ahead. Oh, dear me. And that ends. Let me take this call. The caller on the phone, can you hear me? The caller on the phone, can you hear me? They are all waiting. Everybody is waiting for their voice to come out. They want to hear it on their system before they can. Oh no, I shouldn't have. Let me go back to this very caller and get them to try to speak to us in their period. The caller on the phone, can you hear me?
Yeah, hello. Good morning, sir. Good morning, Chief, my great leader.
Please, good morning. Yes, Ifan Ibrahim.
My name is Ifan Chuku. I reside in Libya, Benghazi. I'm National Zonal Coordinator, Benghazi, Libya, sir.
Thank you very much. Please go ahead.
So I really thank you, and I pray that Chuku Kadiama will keep on blessing you for the good work he has been doing for us.
You said, I'm blessing you.
I have no question, but I just want to thank you so much because, in fact, I don't know what we would have done without you, Mazi Nnamdi. We thank you so much. And please, I want you to know that we in Libya, we IPOB staff, we are really working hard in order to meet up with IPOB expectations, sir. Thank you very much, sir. May God keep on strengthening you and your family.
You say, and bless you too. There are some people that they can't get through. So if you're lucky, I will randomly pick out your number and I will call you. Please do not distribute this very number, or maybe I can change it afterwards today at some point. Please, I am going to call some of you. I am going to call some of you. And when I do so, please do not give away nor distribute this very number, because some of our mothers want to get through, but they cannot. And we want to do something about it. It is very, very difficult. This is the height of multitasking, doing multiple things at the same time. I am trying to see if they can take the call. This one doesn't understand that I am the one calling. And the one calling, I am going to say that this is Radio Biafra. So they will not the one calling, so they can pick up. They should stop trying very desperately to call. Let me take this very. The caller on the line, can you hear me? The caller on the line, can you hear me for the last time? No, they're wasting time. The caller on the line, can you hear me? Your name and where you're calling from? Good morning to you. You're very sharp. I like people who are very sharp, please. Your name and where you're calling from?
My name is Adekunle Chidebere.
Adekunle Chidebere. Is everything okay? Adekunle Chidebere. One person. Is everything all right?
Yeah.
Because I'm blessing, you're one of us. So when I say I have Yoruba cousins, you are one of them. Chidebere. Adekunle, thank you very much. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Mazi, I'm very happy to call you today. I've been looking for a way to hear your voice, but I won't see you.
I'm very, very happy that we have our own people, our flesh and blood, inside Yoruba land. Thank you very much. Please go ahead.
Please, I want to ask some questions.
Yes, go ahead.
I don't know why the issue of this Biafra.
Sorry?
Are you with me, sir?
I'm hearing you. Should I better go ahead? I'm listening. Go ahead.
Are you with me?
I'm listening to you. Go ahead.
I don't know why
Can you hear me? It's the Zoo Network. Zoo Network has taken place. I have a caller on my other line. Please, your name and where you're calling from, if you may. Can you hear me? Good morning to you. Please, your name and where you're calling from? From Biafra land. And what is your name?
Yes, from Biafra land. Yeah. My name is Beth.
Thank you very much. Please go ahead. We are listening.
I'm so happy to hear your voice. I'm so happy to thank you, to talk to you. I don't have any questions. I'm just so enlightened. I'm just so happy. Oh my God. May God bless you. May God bless you. So God bless you. I'm so happy to talk to you this morning. I'm so happy for all you do for us. I'm so happy. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Thank you very much. Thank you for calling. Our lines are open. All those questions, all those questions, I want to answer them today. I want to answer them. Your name and where you're calling from, the caller on the line, please. Can you hear me?
Mazi?
Yes, please.
Morning.
Good morning to you.
My name, I can hear you. My name is
Good morning, Mazi. My name is Nnamdi. We're calling from Anambra, Biafra land.
Thank you very much. Go ahead.
What you are doing?
Thank you.
Give you more insight, give you more understanding, give you more power. Biafra must come. There's nothing anybody can do about it. Bible says that gate of hell cannot prevail. We know we have many enemies. Enemies are in the west, are in the south, are in the north, are everywhere. But the power of God is above all. May God protect you. I love you. I love you. I love your family. I love your.
Thank you very much.
Mazi, in this course, you lost your father and the mother. What else again? May God bless you. Thank you so much.
Thank you very, very much. Thank you very much. These are the type of people that every day when I wake up, I thank Chukwukikabiama for them because they are conscientious. They understand. Good morning to you from here. Your name and where you're calling from, please.
This is one from there. I'm calling from India, from the Ebonyi State, Biafra.
You're from Ebonyi State. You are in India. Please go ahead.
Okay, I want to say
we cannot proceed. It is very, very strange. We cannot proceed. People are calling from all over the world. From all over the world, once you call, endeavor to turn down your system and listen to us. The caller on the phone, can you hear me?
Hello, good morning, Mazi.
Good morning to you. Turn the system down, please. Turn it down.
Samuel Chukwu Nnamdi from Holland.
From Holland, thank you very much. Go ahead.
Africa can even all money in Alunote and Alote and Engineer follow. Africa can even Chukuya Warume. Do we do when to tea that I did Biafra?
Yes, sir.
Continue. What is usually you talk in contact with IPOB in Netherlands here in Holland.
Yes, you should call one of our inquiry lines. Go to my page on Facebook, you scroll down, you will see the inquiry lines, and let me see if I have it here right in front of me so I can repeat it. This is the number to call if you wish to be part and parcel of IPOB family. It is very, very straightforward. Do bear with me, and I will get it in a short one, and I'll give it to you. The number to call is +61. Basically, to be on my page, I'm going to post this on my page in a minute. Please, can somebody post all the contact details and inquiry lines, please? I'll give it to you anyway. +61 47 45 That is the number.
Okay.
Call that number and somebody they will give you all the details of our coordinators, which we cannot make, open for the whole world to know live on air. And they will give it to you. You will call them and you can join the family meeting in Holland. And once this whole corona restriction is over, I will be in Holland to preach this very much. In the town hall meeting. Thank you very much. Thank you very, very much for calling. And may Chukwukikabiama continue to guide and sustain you. I want people to call to ask questions. Some people said that they are not Jewish. Not everybody is. Not all of us can be. Please, I've said it many times, and I have the proof to substantiate everything that I say. Everything that I tell you is gospel, truth from heaven. Not all of us. Some of us are from some of us are from Jekebe, some are from Bende, some are from Ekoi, some are from Italian. Some of us, we have all these Anyama. Some of us, we come from different places in the land of Biafra. All we are making a saying, Namba and teacher now to no, come out school then or I have said it before, we are not one people. But terrorism brought us together on that Biafra. That is why I said, even in Igbo language, if you talk about, I think I saw something that was quite interesting on Facebook. People were, how would you greet somebody when you see them? Some would say, when we say, what do we say? Or something of that sort. So there are different people, we speak the same language, but it means different things to different people. If you go to Soka and hear Soka people speaking, you won't understand them. If you come to my village and I'm speaking in dialect, you won't understand me, I assure you. But in that same one, you have a Homo. If a Homo speaks this or Homo, you will not be able to understand them. Come from now. If you want to know, in fact, I'm going to make it compulsory. That everybody will visit our people and everybody will go to Umweri and Agulej. You must go to understand part of their history. After going to Umweri and Agulej, I want you to go to Uri. And when you go to Uri, you go and look for the Adama of Uri. These are the custodians of the truth. It is not generally known, I'm not saying that. These are men who are custodians, truthful men in Ethiopia. Go to the Adama of I don't want to get upset about this. We are Biafrans, we are supposed to be reasonable. We are led by evidence, not sentiment, not greed, not envy, not jealousy. As an average IPOB person, you are led by the evidence in front of you. Incontrovertible. If we present something to you that you have difficulties or issues with, present a counter argument. When I want to demolish the zoo, I don't say, what they're doing is not true. No. I look for a superior counter argument to destroy whatever nonsense they're concocting. Oh, I don't agree. The question is, why don't you agree? You don't say, I don't agree because I don't agree. It makes no sense. We want to be able to learn here. Maybe you're right. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I am the one that needs to be corrected or to be put on the path of the straight and the narrow. You present your evidence before me. Then I will follow you. It is called submitting to superior argument. Anything I say, anything somebody else says that you disagree with, present a counter superior argument. Never dismiss anybody without presenting something that is superior to what they are saying. That is the new Biafra that we want. But the Biafra of dummies. I don't agree, I don't agree. Why don't you agree? You don't know why you don't agree. Please, I want us to build a viable civilization. And the only way we're going to build that is by interrogating what we say. I am not saying that asking questions is not a good thing. It is a very good thing. Somebody has been trying to call. I will endeavor to try and call them back. This line is jammed. I'm telling you the truth. I'm using here. People call and call and call. The lines are still strong and active, like this one I'm picking now. The call on the phone, can you hear me?
Good morning, sir.
Good morning to you, your name and where you're calling from, please.
Yeah, my name is Kishon Iwukumere.
Iwukumere, thank you very much.
From Igbocha in Biafra land.
Igbocha is our capital, please go ahead.
Yeah. I'm very pleased to hear from you this morning. And I say, may Chukwu Kikada make a Karo be with you and guide you. My leader, I greet you and I thank you and you are doing this work. We are praying for you here in Igbocha. We are doing the needful. We will make sure that we will follow you till the end and the Biafra will come at last. I'm happy to hear from you this morning. And I say, may Chukwu Kikada make a Karo be with you and give you the strength, the wisdom and understanding. At the end, the Biafra will come to the glory of Chukwu Kikada.
Thank you. Thank you very, very much. He just prayed. I have a caller on the line, your name and where you're calling from, please.
Hello, Mazi. Good morning.
Good morning to you. The caller from USA is on the line. Please go ahead.
My name is Chedozi. I'm calling from Noida, India.
From India, thank you very much. The world is listening.
Yes.
Please go ahead.
Yeah, Mazi, I must say that every Biafran has the right to appreciate you for what you are doing for us, and you are a messiah to us because even personally, every Biafran should be learning from what you are teaching us to apply on our daily life. Because we are kind of making a correction to our personal life, not only about Biafra restoration, but a life after Biafra restoration. You understand? So I want to really appreciate you this time and also encourage you to do more for us. Thank you.
Thank you very much. You're very kind. Our people are very kind. These are those that I remember. And I know that this work we are doing is not in vain. I have a caller on the line who has patiently been waiting. I believe you're calling from Ghana. Is that correct?
My name is Aris. I'm calling from Ghana.
From Ghana. Thank you very much. The world is listening. Please go ahead.
Mazi, actually, the informant in the line because without saying, I want all the Biafrans. I want to say, I just said, this Muslim, because the Muslim, not the whole world, all Muslims is proven. Not the whole world. When I do Biafra, I allow the Muslim, can I be the mosque in Biafra land? Hello?
Hello. There will be mosques everywhere, including Biafra land. There will be, because you cannot stop people from worshiping. They may worship in their homes, but every building, every dimension will be determined are allowed to worship.
Perhaps if the problem in the moment, but in our next future, in our children, by then, we can go to another problem in our land, Biafra. Now that you answer,
you must allow them. You must allow everybody to worship whoever and whoever they wish to worship. We cannot interfere. It is between that person and his or her God, and nothing to do with the state. The faith that I practice is something that is unique to myself, between me and my God. I'm not seeking for validation from anybody else. The same way we are not allowed to intrude upon people's belief or faith. So they can be in Biafra land, but they have to abide by the rules and the laws of the land. That's how it's going to be.
Okay, Mazi, can you tell them about women already in our life? Can you call them again?
Thank you very, very much. Thank you very much. We are trying to connect. Our sister is pleading for me to be saying, please, I want to speak. Can you try and call me? We are going to do the best we can. But at the same time, we are trying to see if we can get people to speak to us via Skype. The caller on the phone, can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm hearing you, sir.
You please your name and where you're calling from?
My name is Jenny. I'm calling from Italy.
From Italy, please go ahead.
I just want to appreciate you, what you are doing, because we get down in the mighty name of Jesus. According to the book of Isaiah 54, verse 17. No weapon fashioned against you will ever prosper. Every tongue that will rise against you shall be condemned. Anybody that gather against this adversary, they will scatter in the mighty name of Jesus. May the good Lord continue to bless you, sir. I appreciate everything you are doing.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very, very much for your wonderful prayers. I thank you very much for that. We have callers all over the place. In fact, abandon WhatsApp and call direct, please, on that number I gave you. My goodness me. Maybe this is better. The caller on the phone, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, please. Your name and where you're calling from?
I am from Enugu State.
Enugu, thank you very much. And where are you based? Are you calling from Biafra land?
No, I'm calling from Nasarawa State.
From Nasarawa, thank you very much. And what are you doing there? In Nasarawa, are they not killing people there?
No, they are not killing people here.
Okay, very good. I think Nasarawa is they are party people. They are not Fulani. Go ahead, please.
I want to thank God for what you have been doing for us, how you have been fighting for our freedom. And also, I want to comment to those people that used to make some comments concerning what you said the other day. Because, I know that what he said that there must be a freedom worship. And some people misunderstand you. Biafra was giving that you will convert everybody to Jewish.
What happens, his line is off, but I know what he's trying to say, and I'll finish it for him. What he's trying to say is that people don't listen. Most black people don't listen. And on top of not being able to listen, they don't reason. There will be freedom of religion, the same way it has been with the ancients. And I mean, the deity you have in your village, is it the same deity they have in the other village?